Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to what we hope to be the official first game of the 2018 USPBL season. My name's Rich Borland. I'll be joined by Dakota Brecht, my partner, here in just a moment. But last night, we had finally made it to the moment we were all waiting for in opening day, but Mother Nature, unfortunately, had other plans. Now, on the eve of Mother's Day, we have the Unicorns and Hoppers going toe-to-toe for the first time in the 2018 season. Our pitching matchup features a right-hander out of Flushier, Texas, in Cody Brown for the Unicorns, and a lefty out of Concord, California, in Devin Alexander. Both pitchers are returners for both respective teams. Cody Brown last season with the Unicorns pitched in 11 games while recording 40 strikeouts in 47 innings pitched. He also maintained a 3.64 ERA in that time. As for his arsenal, Brown will mix in a two-seam fastball, a slider, and a changeup. His best work shows when opponents are hitting the ball on the ground, as that is predominantly the way he has been retiring his batters. He sits right around 90 to 93 with that two-seam, but when he needs to, he can get it up to as much as 96. As for his opponent, Devin Alexander and the Hoppers, he pitched in 17 games last season while tossing 58.1 innings, and he had a 4-2 record. His best outing in 2017 was actually against these Unicorns back on July 15th, where he had went 7 strong innings while giving up just 2 runs on 3 hits. He only gave up 1 walk while recording 8 strikeouts. So now it's time to bring in my partner, Dakota Brecht. Dakota, I know that you had spoken with Devin Alexander and Paul Nochi prior to tonight's matchup. What's a little bit of insight that they were talking about as they look on to their first game here in 2018?
Well, first of all, Rich, real happy to be back again. Yesterday didn't really go as planned, but today, you know, the sun's peeking out of these clouds. Looks like we're going to play some baseball this afternoon. So, yeah, again, I'm with Devin Alexander. I got a chance to talk to him when I first got to the ballpark earlier. He was here around 3 o'clock. Had to wait a little bit before he talked to Paul Nochi. But Alexander was actually a two-way player back in college. He went to Sonoma State University out in Cali. And he played a lot of outfield. He could hit decently, and he'd come in and throw a couple innings when they were losing by a lot or up by a lot. And he's got actually a huge arsenal of pitches. He throws a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and his forkball. And when I asked him what's his put-away pitch, what's he like to go to, he said when he's up in the count, he likes to go to that forkball. He said it could range from any speed. Any day he goes out there, he said some days it's in the low 70s, some days it gets up in the upper 70s. He goes, it really all varies on what's working for him that day, but kind of a different, you don't really see many guys with a 5-pitch arsenal as is. And a forkball, he said he started it out as a splitter back in his college days, and it kind of just kept going, and it was kind of hard to call it a splitter at that point. So now he's got a forkball going, and he's really excited to get out there. He said at max he's probably only going to go 5-6 innings today. And when I talked to Paul Nochi about him, Nochi said that he's got the opportunity right now to pitch out of the bullpen at a higher level than this. And, so right now they're using him in a primarily starter role, but he's got that kind of good stuff where he could come out of the bullpen for a couple innings and really make some noise.
I'll tell you what, that might make a little more sense down the road when games are starting to mean a little bit more as far as getting into that first or second place spot. You might see him as a starter all year long, but he could be brought in later on in the year if need be as either a save role or just maybe a face-off against one particular batter to get a job done, to get out of a jam. Either way, you said that he had played other positions growing up, so he can probably do just about anything.
Very versatile guy
out here on the ball diamond. But it looks like we're getting our starting lineups getting introduced here on the diamond, so we might as well go through them here ourselves. Let's start with the visitors. That is the Utica Unicorns. Down the list we go, starting at third base, number 9, that is Carter Grote. And batting second, playing center field, number 10, Justin Erlanderson. Batting in the 3 spot at first base, number 6, Dan Ward. Batting cleanup in left field this evening, number 8, Jimmy Latona. Batting in the 5 hole, number 2, the right fielder, Spencer Ibarra. Batting 6, playing catcher, number 21, Chris Allen. Batting 7th, playing second base, number 4, Dylan Sprague. Batting 8th as the designated hitter, number 24, Nico Lolio. And then batting in the 9 hole is number 13, the shortstop, Adrian Guzman. They'll be going up against Devin Alexander this evening, the left-hander. And then let's talk a little bit about the other end for the Hoppers. Dakota, here's their lineup.
Yeah, going down the list, leading off for the Hoppers, you got the DH, Cody Rudicelli. Batting second, number 44, Gabe Gunter. He's out in left field. In the 3 hole, you got Gunnar Buhner. He's playing third tonight. Cleaning it up is the catcher, number 1, Josh McAdams. In the 5 spot, that's the returner, John Kraft, number 24, playing out in right field this afternoon. Batting 6, number 27, the first baseman, Cameron Coons. After him in the 7 hole is number 7, Kevin Watley. He's at shortstop tonight. Batting 8th, number 5, Johnny Knight the 4th. He's out in center field. And rounding out the lineup, Sebastian Diaz will be playing second base this evening. And then you got them going up against Cody Brown.
So tons of action this entire off season. We've been looking forward to the 2018 season for months now. We're finally here. Obviously, we had that little hiccup yesterday with the Woolly Mammoths and the 2017 USPBL champions, the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. It was nice to see the ring ceremony with Chris Newell and all the guys getting recognized. We just wish that the weather was a little bit better for those ceremonies, and just the overall atmosphere got kind of dwindled down with the weather, but we're happy that the weather's better this evening.
Tons of fans out here tonight, Rich.
The report looks good. Fans look ready. They look eager. Grandstands are starting to fill up fast here. We got both party patios in left and right field completely sold out. We actually have a group from in our Chevy Pavilion area, about 650 people up there. So lots of action here this evening. We actually got our baseball buddies going out onto the field right now with the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, as we see Ribby, our Eastside mascot, giving some high fives out there along the high five tunnel with the players. But it looks like as soon as some of these players are about to head out onto the diamond, it looks as if we'll be getting ready for the national anthem. Dakota, you got any final thoughts here as we head into this one?
No, not much. Again, like we talked about yesterday, we wanted to see some baseball play. We got about 3 batters in, and Mother Nature just wasn't having any of it. But tonight, forecast is clear. Excited to get these guys out here. I know they're all excited too. I mean, the guys were itching when I was down in the locker rooms earlier, you know, joking around, having a good time. So I think we're going to have a good night tonight, Rich.
It's one of those nights where you're just fortunate to be in the position you're in. You get to play the game you love and just hope for a healthy, happy, successful season for all these guys. And obviously the main goal to get to that next level. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of faces come and go here in this 2018 season. Mentioned how in the first 2 seasons combined, we got 20 players getting shipped off to Major League affiliate teams. And I'm excited to see what the number is at the end of this year. But it looks as if we're finally ready for our national anthem, so we will take our quick break. But when we come back, we will go back over that Unicorn lineup and then the defensive lineup for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Once again, Rich Borland alongside Dakota Brecht. We are moments away from first pitch here at Jimmy John's Field.
One young man who received an appointment to the United States Naval Academy, 59 National Honor Society members, and 97% headed for college this fall. And 3 young men committed to serving our country in the military. May each of them achieve their future goals as they go on their separate ways. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Lutheran High's Athletic Director, Mr. Ryan Wesley, who will lead us in prayer tonight.
Can we pray? Lord God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this night of fun, fellowship, and baseball. But most importantly, we thank you for the freedom in which we now live, thanks to the sacrifice of your Son, Jesus Christ. Bless the players tonight. Please keep them free from injury and help them to give us an entertaining show as we engage in good Lutheran fellowship. Bless all in attendance tonight. In your name we play and pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, please rise and remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your caps on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with a singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by Lutheran North.
So there is your rendition of our nation's anthem. Finally getting ready to get underway here at Jimmy John's Field. Got the weather
Perfect.
well enough for a baseball game here tonight. I bet fans could wish it was a little bit warmer, but you know what? Field is eligible to play. The season is upon us.
We're in the broadcast booth.
Everything's
Plenty warm
ready
up
to
here,
go.
Rich.
It looks as if we're going to have our full baseball game here this evening. 54 degrees here in Utica. And like we mentioned, let's go over this pitching matchup here this evening. On the mound currently getting loose for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers is Devin Alexander. Devin Alexander, like you mentioned in the pregame here, Dakota, he's got 5 pitches that he can work with. The more the merrier with that arsenal on the mound. Not to mention he's a left-hander. That already messes with hitters' minds, especially from the right side. You got, like I mentioned, a fastball, changeup, slider, curveball, and then that deceptive forkball that he will mix in here and there in that mid-70s range. But he doesn't throw the changeups to lefties. He features the very slow curveball. He'll get his fastball up to about 91 in that range, and he'll be sitting at 88 to 90 miles an hour throughout the night. But like you were saying, he developed his forkball in high school and threw a split-finger fastball as well, but that slowly evolved into that forkball. The lineup that he will face here this evening in the Utica Unicorns lineup, Carter Grote, Justin Erlanderson, and Dan Ward here at least in this top half of the first inning. What's Alexander's makeup here tonight? What's he going to do to get these guys out of a contention to get some runs?
Well, I think one thing you're going to really look at, and as you can already tell from his warm-up pitches, out of the windup, he's nice and quick, just a short little step over, and then he comes home to the plate. I haven't seen him out of the stretch yet. But one thing that I know helps out the guys out on the field a lot is a quick, efficient pitcher. So as much as he can get out there, get through these batters nice and quickly, I think that's going to really help him out, and it really keeps the defense sharp and on their toes. And I think he's going to run into some issues. This Utica Unicorns lineup, they can hit. I mean, we had a chance to talk to Jim Essian earlier, and he likes his team. He thinks it's a sound, balanced team. And this is coming against a team like the Diamond Hoppers, who had the most power last season. They hit the most home runs. They really played the best. But I think he's going to have to be on his game right off the bat tonight to get through this tough lineup, especially when you get towards the 3-4 guys like Ward and Latona.
So the Utica Unicorns in their away uniforms, the gray bottoms, the purple tops, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in their all-white uniforms. Got Devin Alexander rocking the high socks out there, exactly how I did back in my college days. That's the way you got to rock them out there on the mound. And then leading off here for the Utica Unicorns is Carter Grote. Carter Grote batting from the right side. He's out of South Park, Pennsylvania. First pitch here, called strike on the outside corner. First pitch, 7:04 p.m. We're a minute ahead of schedule. Can't complain about that.
No, great way to start the game. Get him out there as Alexander whipped in that fastball for first pitch strike.
So Alexander working ahead early. That next pitch, fastball as well, high and a little outside, but in the strike zone. Going after it was Grote, but he just fouls it off out of play. Quick, early, good start here for Alexander.
This is a situation where you're going to see that forkball. Let's see if he breaks it out early or he keeps to the fastball. You know he's got Grote behind it right now, so he might stick to the heater here and just try to blow it past him. You might look for it a little higher in the zone.
So Grote out of Furman University trying to get his first hit in this 2018 USPBL season. That 0-2 pitch looked to be that curveball, or excuse me, that slider out of the left hand of Devin Alexander, just going inside. It looked as if probably started inside, had good break on it, but just didn't start where he wanted it to. But a good 0-2 pitch, you don't want to give him anything over the plate.
Exactly. It looked like it nicked the bat, too. I wasn't sure if it hit Grote or not, but I think it got the bat there at the end.
1-2 pitch, fastball missing outside. Looked to get away from Alexander a little bit there, and the count evens at 2-2.
Yeah, with him going outside like that after coming in hard, you're probably going to see something with a little bit of vertical movement in the zone here. He already went inside, went outside now. And so he's probably going to either go fastball high and tight here or try to bury that changeup.
The 2-2 pitch lifted into left center field. Ranging to his right to pick that one up is Johnny Knight the fourth. But Carter Grote, in his first plate appearance of 2018, gets a base knock, and he will have the Unicorns threatening here in the top half of the first.
Yeah, just like I said before that pitch there, I thought Alexander was going to either go low or high with it, and he tried to get the breaker down low in the zone, and Grote just went down and grabbed it. So great piece of hitting there by Grote to lead off the game for the Unis.
So with Grote over there at first base, brings up Justin Erlanderson. Erlanderson, the right-hander.
Groat's got a lot of speed over there at first base. You know Alexander's going to be keeping his eye out for him.
First pitch, fastball. Home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz saying that one stayed outside just enough. This one, a ball to Erlanderson, the man out of Utah Valley University, the Beaverton, Oregon native. Bats and throws right. The 1-0 pitch, fastball, getting away from Josh McAdams. That was most likely going to be a pass ball. The pitch, not too much getting away from him, but that one, obviously just a mental mistake. And just like that, Carter Groat quickly moving into scoring position.
Yeah, that's definitely going to go down in the scorebook as a pass ball there on McAdams. I got a chance to talk to Noach before the game about McAdams. He really likes McAdams, saying that he's a big, tall guy. Actually played a lot of outfield earlier in his collegiate days, and this has been a transition trying to get him behind the plate. So this might be a couple issues you're going to run into with McAdams.
So a base open now over there at first base. Carter Groat standing in scoring position. The count 2-0 on the batter. Tough spot here for Devin Alexander. He's got to get through this. The 2-0 fastball. Nice pitch right down the heart of the plate. And swinging right through it was Erlanderson. The count going to 2-1.
Yeah, Erlanderson had a rip at that one there. Now we're going to have a stoppage in play, as it looks like they're going to bring Alexander something to clean his spikes out with. A little bit of mud still left on the ground.
Yeah, that's still going to be a factor in these early May games. Going to have to deal with the elements, make sure the field is up to date and kept ground, but obviously getting that dirt out of there, you want to be able to perform at your best ability. And it looks like he's ready to go here now.
Short step out there for the Diamond Hoppers is Kevin Watley telling the outfield to take a few steps back. It's like Erlanderson might have a little pop to him.
Alexander checks back on the runner, Groat, but elects to go home with it. That pitch called strike evens the count up at 2-2 here. So now Erlanderson will have to protect and take anything close out to the field.
Yeah, Groat's taking a pretty sizable lead over there at second base. He's definitely looks like he could be on the move here, especially with the lefty on the mound and the righty at the plate. No one really holding him at second.
The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Home plate umpire says that the catcher, Josh McAdams, had in fact held on to that one. Justin Erlanderson tried to fool home plate umpire by jogging down first baseline, but not in time there. So Erlanderson is retired via the swing and the miss. Groat staying alive over there at second. We got one out here now.
Now this is a big guy we've been talking about, Dan Ward, stepping to the plate for the Unicorns. He's got the opportunity to really do some damage here in the USPBL. Big bat on him, big tall guy. Can really drive the ball to left field.
Yeah, Ward, one of the biggest guys that we've seen in this league as he swings and misses at the first offering that he was dealt there. Got one out here, man on second base. And like you said, Dan Ward, the man out of Garfield Heights, Ohio, the Tennessee Wesleyan University native. Down 0-1 here as Alexander tries to force him to chase. It looks like that ball gets so far enough away from the catcher, Josh McAdams. Saw Devin Alexander come into home plate to try and cover the issue as Groat was thinking about moving up 180 feet. He got a good lead around third base there and thought about coming to the plate, but elects to stay over there. Probably the smart decision in the end with just one out on the board and the big fella up at the plate.
Yeah, huge secondary lead to come around the base there, and when that ball first got away from McAdams, he didn't really see where it went. I thought Groat was going to come all the way around to score, but like you're saying, you got the big guy at the plate right here. You know he can lift the ball into the outfield. That's probably why they kept him there at third base, just waiting to see if Ward can drive him in here.
That 1-1 pitch getting just enough of that outside corner. Dan Ward nodding his head to the home plate umpire, Gary Wagenschutz. They look to be in agreement there. Just not exactly what Ward must have been looking for, so he will now have to protect. He's down in the count here 1-2 with a big opportunity over there on third base. The 1-2 pitch looks like the broken bat was going to be enough here. He's hustling down the first baseline and called out. Nice job by Devin Alexander to play his position defensively. That will bring in Carter Grote. So an RBI ground out there for Dan Ward. Second out recorded, but it costs a run for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. It's 1-0 Unicorns.
Yeah, that was a real tough play for Alexander to get over. It looks like he got a late break on it too, but Ward not having the best speed out on the base paths. And he, like you say, shattered the bat, and it was slow enough where the runner Grote could score from third. But by the time Ward got it, it was a bang-bang play, but it looks like he just edged him out.
So our first run officially of 2018 coming in here in this, what we want to call Game 2. It's technically going to be our first official game, but it's on the schedule as Game 2. Game 1 will be, in fact, made up on a later date. I believe it's May the 27th as a part of a doubleheader on the Sunday before Memorial Day. We got our new batter in here in Jimmy Latona. Looks at a couple of pitches to begin this at-bat. He's quickly ahead in the count here. 2-0 is the left fielder.
Yeah, Latona's one of those guys. They're talking to Jim Essian before the game. He fouls that one off to the right side. That Latona actually can play all over the field. He's playing out in left field tonight. He's the backup catcher. And Jim Essian, as you know, he played in the big leagues for 14 years, I believe, and he actually played left field, third base, first base, and behind the plate, too. So kind of a good mentor for Jimmy Latona here is Jim Essian, the head coach for the Utica Unicorns.
So Latona ahead in the count here, 2-1. Looks at a bender that falls in to even it up at 2-2. Yeah, you mentioned that he can play all over the place in left field here this evening, but on the USPBL website listed as a catcher. So he'll be helping Chris Allen out this year as his sort of backup when Allen needs the night off with those knees. But pitch getting away from Devin Alexander right there. But
and I believe that's the third one we've seen already in the first inning to get away from McAdams behind home plate. So, you know, I know we were talking about him making the transition from the outfield to behind the plate, and already it's causing some problems for the Diamond Hoppers. I don't know if that's something they're going to look into right away or if it's kind of just a learning experience.
So bases empty here. The payoff pitch about to ensue. Already 19 pitches out of that left hand for Alexander. Here's pitch 20, and that one missing in the dirt. Home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz. An easy call right there as Jimmy Latona makes his way towards first base with that two-out walk. So if you throw a no-out walk, that's bad, but a two-out walk, even worse here. You got an opportunity to end the threat, but just like that, it will continue. And now Spencer Ibarra standing in from the left side. He's going to get an opportunity with a man on base, and the Unicorns already here with a 1-0 lead in the first.
Yeah, that's tough to walk a guy there 2-0. And, you know, we were talking about Alexander earlier. He refuses to throw the changeup to the lefties up here. So, I mean, he's still got a pretty big arsenal, but it kind of cuts it down with no changeup. And he's going to work in a lot of fastballs here to Ibarra.
So Ibarra down in the count as he looked at the fastball, 0-1. The runner on first is Latona. That slider almost enough over that plate, but looks as if it might have stayed just high or just inside, according to the home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz. But the count even at 1-1 here on the right fielder Ibarra.
That's a slow-moving breaking pitch.
That ball lifted shallow here in the infield over to second base. An easy play there for Sebastian Diaz for the third and final out in the end of the top half of the first inning. 23 pitches there for Alexander. He ends up giving up that run after that leadoff single from Carter Grote. We will head to the home half of the first. Hoppers with their first opportunity at the plate all season long. We'll come right back. It is 1-0 Unicorns. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Classic Rock Saturday. Got the Journey Tribute Band presented by our credit union here at the ballpark this evening. We got Cody Brown on the mound for the Utica Unicorns, getting ready to start his first outing of the 2018 USPBL season. The right-hander out of Flushier, Texas, getting ready for his first start of the season. Last season for the Unicorns, Mr. Brown in 11 games through 47 innings, got a 1-3 record to his credit, gave up 38 hits and then 25 walks to 40 strikeouts, but had a good ERA, a 3.64 ERA, as well as a 1.34 whip. He will have to deal with Cody Rudzelli as well as Gabe Gunter and Gunnar Buhner here to start off this home half of the first. First pitch from the right-hander, fastball over the heart of the plate. The designated hitter, Cody Rudzelli, starting off here for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
Yeah, Rudzelli's out of Wolford College. New guy to the league this year, just 23 years old. Got a lot of speed, and at the DH position, you know, he plays out in the outfield a little bit, but at the DH position, they really want to see him jumpstart this offense from the top.
So the 1-1 pitch, fastball just missing outside there. The count going to 2-1. Let's read you our Unicorn defense. Left to right in the outfield, Jimmy Latona, Justin Erlanderson, and Spencer Ibarra in the outfield. The 2-1 pitch to Rudzelli, missing low and away. Count going to a favorable count for the right-hander. It's 3-1 now. Left to right in the infield, Carter Grote, Adrian Guzman, Dylan Sprague, and Dan Ward. And then Cody Brown's battery partner is Chris Allen. This ball hit hard over to the left side. Carter Grote on the run, makes the throw. Easy play in time. 1 up, 1 down here for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the home half of the first.
Yeah, it was great by Carter Grote. Moved over perfectly, caught the ball on the left-hand hip there, and just made a perfect throw over to the first baseman, Dan Ward. That's what you want to see out of these guys, especially early on. Not any hiccups and just going out and making the plays. Routine like that.
So now Gabe Gunter making his way to the batter's box from the left side. Gunter, in our simulated game the other night, took 1 yard off of the scoreboard podium area out there. See if he decides to show his power this evening as he looks at a called ball to begin this at-bat.
Yeah, when Paul Nochi was being interviewed earlier this afternoon by Matt Derry out at the media desk out front of Jimmy John's Field here, I was really excited to see Gunter's power.
As Gunter hits a hard ground ball to the right side, a tough play there, but the PFP's in action. Nice play there from both Dan Ward, the first baseman, and Cody Brown fielding their positions. Quickly 2 up, 2 down here for the home team, the Utica Unicorns.
Yeah, coming from a first baseman standpoint, that's what I played throughout my high school days. Those classic routine by Dan Ward over there at first base. Get over, make sure your pitcher's coming right position. You want to hit him about 4 or 5 feet before he gets to the base, and you want to lead him right into the base there. And great job by the pitcher, Cody Brown, to angle it the right way and get his foot on the bag.
So now Gunnar Buhner, the starting third baseman for this Eastside team, standing in. Nobody on the bases, 2 outs here. A great start for Cody Brown. Mentioned his 3.64 ERA all last season, ending up right where he had left off with a good start here. But quickly 2 balls thrown to Buhner, a favorable count for the right-hander up at the plate. He is out of Issaquah, Washington. 6'2", 200-pounder. Takes a good cut here at this one, and that one a line drive right back up the middle. It's going to go over to Justin Erlanderson out there in center field, and just like that, the Hoppers with their first threat of the evening.
Yeah, Buhner was actually in the Phillies organization last season. He played 24 games, and it was held to a .122 batting average. So he really struggled in the Phillies organization last year. Kind of found a home here, and he's really excited to be out there.
So the first threat here for Team Eastside has Buhner over there at first base. Now Josh McAdams, the catcher for this Eastside team, standing in. He looks at a fastball that misses just inside. Looked to be pretty close. That catcher, Chris Allen, holding it just an extra second there for Gary Wagenschutz at home plate, but that one just missing inside. So McAdams ahead here early. Cody Brown with the 1-0 offering. That swing and miss on that slider, absolutely nasty. Mentioned Cody Brown has 3 pitches in his arsenal. He's got that 2-seam fastball mixing in with the slider and changeup. And like we mentioned, he gets a lot of ground balls. He's got 2 outs here, but he could take one of those ground balls with 2 opportunities. And that slider falling in over the plate, called strike 2. And just like that, after starting the batter off with a ball. He's ahead now, 1-2.
Yeah, McAdams has a wide open stance out there with his left foot brought out farther than his back foot there. And I'm sure right now he's looking for the off-speed pitch after seeing the first two. But you always got to watch out for that high fastball.
McAdams ready for the delivery. The 1-2 pitch missing just high and outside. Looked to be that changeup. Seemed to have slowed down a little bit. I'm guessing that Cody Brown probably wanted to get that one a little bit lower, but better than over the heart of the plate. The last thing you want to do is give a changeup in that hitting zone for a guy like McAdams. But the count even here at 2-2. Let's see if McAdams can put it in play. 1-2 pitch. He does, in fact, do that, and it gets past the ranging Adrian Guzman over there at shortstop. Another hit. Back-to-back singles for the 3 and 4 hitters of this Eastside Diamond Hopper team. And after 2 quick groundouts, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers are threatening.
You know, it was a great piece of hitting there by McAdams. Waited for the pitch he wanted, and he just drove it right past the shortstop Diaz out there.
15 pitches here so far for Cody Brown. 8 missing the zone, 7 getting in there. So we had mentioned that 23 pitches were thrown by his counterpart Devin Alexander in the first. Both guys probably throwing more than they would like. No 1, 2, 3 innings just yet. We mentioned that the Unicorns up here 1-0, got their run on a ground out to second base as Carter Grotehead came in to score. The 1-0 pitch to John Kraft is hit, and it looks like it's going to be enough to get out of play. A high riser that goes over our grandstands to our left.
Yeah, Kraft is one of those returning guys, really enjoys being here. Had the opportunity to talk to him on Media Day a couple days ago. Really excited to get back out there again. And actually, quick little factoid about John Kraft is everyone calls him Jack. Doesn't really like John, so he has most of the guys around here call him Jack.
So a little nickname there for Mr. Kraft. He looks at a fastball. Nice job there from the battery, both Brown and Allen. Brown getting it right on that outside edge, but Allen with an even better job to frame that one up for the home plate umpire. Mentioned that John Kraft in last season had 34 games with the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He was 24 of 100. Had the on-base percentage of .327. Count evens up here at 2-2. So a good opportunity. Not really sure exactly what you want to throw here on a 2-2, as we've seen sort of a little bit of everything from Cody Brown. He's got that two-seam, the slider, and changeup. Let's see what he goes with here as he's getting set from that stretch position. The 2-2 to Kraft, swung on and missed. Looked to be the slider going just underneath the bat. So strikeout number 1 on the evening for Cody Brown. It comes on his 20th pitch, and just like that, after a couple of two-out singles for the Hoppers, they cannot get anything across the board. So we'll head to the top half of the second inning. It's 1-0 Unis after 1. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland alongside Dakota Brecht here for you. We got the 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up for the Utica Unicorns. We got the catcher, Chris Allen, the second baseman, Dylan Sprague, and the designated hitter, Nico Lolio. We'll see if we reach Adrian Guzman at the bottom of this Unicorn order. They lead it 1-0 here. Back out for his second inning of work, the lefty Devin Alexander, and the Unicorns getting right to it here in this top half of the second. A line drive on the first pitch he sees. Chris Allen getting that single to lead off.
Yeah, Allen jumped on that first pitch fastball right away there. And, Allen, a returner from last season, played in 34 games for the Utica Unicorns. 16 games at 34 at-bats. Finished with a 176 batting average. Not too good. Had a couple RBIs mixed in there, a couple walks. So they're excited to see what Allen can do, especially working with his pitchers behind the plate.
So now we got a guy in Dylan Sprague coming up to the plate, the man out of New York, Farley Dickinson University, the left-hander. Looking at the first pitch, he sees a bender that falls in over the heart of the plate. Sprague looked as if he was looking for a fastball just as Allen had, but a different story here. Sprague down in the count here, 0-1.
Yeah, great piece of pitching there by Alexander to throw that first pitch bender and really get him working another one there to put the count to 0-2.
Back-to-back, Dylan Sprague, real uncomfortable here. Sprague in 2017, 76 at-bats, 25 games, 20 hits, 14 runs scored. Only left the yard twice in that season. Runner on first over there is Chris Allen. The slider getting away from Devin Alexander right there. Of course, on a 0-2 pitch, you don't want to give him anything he can handle, but that one clearly missing more than he would have liked it to.
Yeah, in that situation right there, obviously the lefty on lefty, there's not a lot of lefties out there that feel comfortable hitting against the left-hander. So I would have attacked him a little more in that situation, but.
And then that 1-2 pitch, fastball looked to be close to the strike zone, but Josh McAdams couldn't snag onto it and hold on long enough. Got away from him. You wonder if he held onto it, it would have been called a different story.
Yeah, again, the McAdams struggling behind the plate here for the Hoppers.
The 2-2 pitch from Alexander in the dirt. Stopped there from McAdams, so a good job to keep the runner, Chris Allen, honest over there at first base. I don't care how ugly it is. As long as the runner doesn't advance, you're doing your job there behind the plate. But the count now full here against Dylan Sprague. The lefty-lefty matchup. Let's see who wins this one. The wind up the pitch, 3-2 fastball missing high and inside. That is another walk for Mr. Alexander, second on the afternoon. Not a good start here in this second inning. You get the leadoff single to Chris Allen and then the full count walk to Dylan Sprague. Now got Nico Lolio coming up to the plate from the left side. Lolio, first baseman for the Unicorns, his second season with the ball club, taking more of a leadership role with the team this year. He's more comfortable with a season under his belt, he said earlier on in an interview. He looks to hit for more power in his second season as he looks at ball one to begin his at-bat here. Fun fact, Nico Lolio is actually going to be a part of a sort of like a foreign exchange student type of situation where later on in this season, 2 players from Sweden will be coming to play in the USPBL. I'm not sure if it's for a couple of games or if it's for a weekend stint.
Yeah, I heard it's actually in a TV show is what our VP of Marketing, Scott McDonald, was telling us about. I know Lolio's really excited to head on over there.
And we're excited to have a couple of Swedes come over here and play with us as Lolio looks at ball 2 there. That one missing low and away. But we mentioned how Lolio is going to be looking to swing for more power here in this season. Unicorns already leading this one 1-0, but Lolio could break this one open if he gets good wood on it. This ball fought off against down the left field line. It's going to go just foul. That's a really good pitch there from Devin Alexander. You got a guy up at the plate that you know has some power to his name. You keep that fastball inside, and Lolio did the only thing he could with it. He fought it off, took it to left field. If he swings just a pinch earlier, that ball might stay fair down that left field line, but a really good job there to catch him off his guard, Alexander.
Well, that's the thing you're looking at for Lolio is he actually did a fantastic job of putting that pitch almost fair down the left field line, but if you can't let him extend his arms, which Alexander's doing right now, he's not going to hit with any power.
That off-speed pitch, Lolio making contact with it. Alexander's going to have to speed over there to first base to cover, as we saw Cameron Coons reach over to his right. He couldn't make the play, so Sebastian Diaz playing his part as the backup role, gets that ground ball and fires it over to Alexander at first base. Nico Lolio doing a good job to take that ball to the right side of the infield so the runners could at least advance from first and second to second and third. If you're going to make contact in an at-bat and get out of it, at least you get your runners over and put them in scoring position here with just one out.
Well, off the bat, I thought that was sneaking through the first baseman and a second baseman there, but with the way the field is still, it's still a little wet. They didn't get the tarp off till around 4 o'clock this afternoon, so I know there's a couple wet spots out there, and that's probably what, prohibited that ball from getting to the outfield there and scoring a couple runs for the Unis.
So a good opportunity here for the 9-hole hitter. That's Adrian Guzman. He's got runners on second and third with just the one out. Big spot here for Devin Alexander if he can get out of it, but already 23 pitches in the first inning. He's continuing to labor here. This ball fought off. It's going to be a slow roller over to the right side of the infield. The only play Sebastian Diaz can make is over there at first base. Not a lot of good contact, so Devin Alexander is pitching well. He's just not he's just not getting the best luck, and that ball's kind of slowly rolling in and out of the infield, and it's just not exactly the way you want things to go. But part of the reason that that's happening, that leadoff single and then that no-out walk, that's part of the reason that the Unicorns have been able to get some runs across the board. Now it's 2-0 in their favor.
Well, besides that first pitch line drive off the bat of Chris Allen to start the inning, there hasn't really been any solid contact, at least in this inning alone. And as you're saying, just a couple tough breaks. He's getting good pitches in there, and the guys for the Unicorns aren't really getting good wood on the ball. Just the way the field is right now, and it's really kind of hurting Alexander at this point.
So back to the top of the order, Carter Grote stands in now for the second time today. He had scored the first run of the ball game on that RBI groundout from Dan Ward back in the first inning. Carter Grote 1 for 1 on the evening with that single that led this ball game off. He hits a high fly ball into left field. If it's going to be gone. Oh, no, it's short, just at the wall. Gabe Gunter could not make the play, though. Not sure what they're going to mark this one down in the books. And, in fact, right up on the scoreboard there, they, in fact, do put double. Looks as if Gabe Gunter might have made contact with it, but because he was, in fact, on the run, they're going to give Carter Grote a double on that one, a 1 RBI double. Gives the Unicorns the 3-0 lead, and Alexander starting to fall apart here early in this second inning.
Yeah, Grote really jumped on that pitch there off of Alexander, and he almost put that thing out. That's an 8-foot fence out there in left field, and I don't know how close Gunter got to it, but it looked like he almost put this thing out.
So a single and a double to Carter Grote's credit. Now Justin Erlanderson stands in. He swings and misses at the first opportunity he sees. Struck out swinging back in that first inning, but what a showing we're seeing out of Carter Grote here so far for the Unicorns. Clearly a reason he's batting in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, no doubt, Grote's really put some good wood on the ball today, and I'm sure manager Jim Essian's really happy to see that.
As that ball in the dirt there, getting away from Alexander, a good stop there from McAdams to keep Mr. Grote over there at second base. But Chris Allen, Dylan Sprague have come in to score here in this top half of the second inning. A 3-0 lead here for the Unicorns, just the way they wanted to start this ball game. They got a good start out of their pitcher, Cody Brown, on the other end of it. He did give up two out singles, but no runs came across to score for the Hoppers in their first at-bats.
Yeah, again, good speed out on second base with Grote, especially with the lefty on the mound. It's kind of hard for him to turn around and check the runner as much, and they're not holding him at all.
Erlanderson swinging at the 1-1 offer over to that left side where Gunnar Buhner will make the play for the third and final out. Erlanderson is retired, but the Unicorns get 2 more runs in that top half of the second inning. They lead it by a score of 3-0 over the Hoppers. We're heading to the home half of the second. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland and Dakota Brecht here with you on Game 2 of the USPBL season in 2018. Cody Brown back out on the mound for the Utica Unicorns in his second inning of work. He'll face off against the 6, 7, 8 hitters of Team Eastside here. First batter he faces off against is Cameron Coons. Cameron Coons is taking ball one here. He's ahead in the count here, 1-0, the first baseman.
Yeah, Coons is out of Albertville, Alabama. A young guy, only 22 years old still.
That 1-0 pitch swung on, fouled off into that protective netting. A couple of fans over there to our right reacting accordingly, but that net could protect anybody in this ballpark as long as it makes contact with it. But the count 1-1 here on the batter, Cameron Coons. The 1-1 pitch swung on, fouled off in the dirt, so staying alive in there, protecting, but down in the count here, 1-2 is Coons.
You can tell Coons is very eager to be out there right now. That pitch on the outside part of the plate, he tried to lunge out there and pull that ball, so I think he's got to sit back here, wait for his pitch, and kind of drive it wherever the ball takes him.
Yeah, 6'4", 220 pounds is the big fella. The 1-2 pitch missing outside. That slider evens the count up at 2-2, so you just saw a 1-2 pitch, a slider miss on the outside part of the plate. You either are going to get a changeup or a two-seam fastball here, so it's most likely going to be straight with a little bit of a tail action on the inside hands. I'd be ready to drive something over to the left side. Instead, that two-seamer missing high and away, so that count now ranging full for Cameron Coons in his first USPBL plate appearance.
I hear Brown's got a little bit of an issue when he tries to get the velocity up there on the two-seamer, trying to control it. Like they were saying earlier, you could get it up to 96 if he really tried, but I think control's an issue with it.
The 3-2 hit hard down that left side. Third baseman, that is Carter Grote. Grote making the play over there at first base. So far, Carter Grote having quite the evening here. He's got both two hits, a single and a double at the plate. Looking good out there, sharp defensive maneuvers with the glove. And quickly one up, one down. But Cameron Coons, a good at-bat there, made the pitcher work. And like we mentioned, coming into this inning, Cody Brown was at 20 pitches, so a nice job there by the right-hander. Now stepping into the batter's box is the shortstop, number 7, Kevin Watley.
Yeah, a lot of you've seen already today. A lot of batters are really working the counts against these pitchers.
As you say that, the first pitch Watley sees, he swings at it, fouls it off behind the field of play.
Yeah, Watley's out of Port Orchard, Washington. Just 23 years old. Another new guy to the league.
The 0-1 fastball. You saw the catcher, Chris Allen, there sort of bring that glove back as he was catching it, but Gary Wagenschutz, the home plate umpire, plenty of experience in this great game of baseball. He knew that that one had missed just outside. The count even now at 1-1. Watley taking this pitch to the right side, and that one falls in for a base knock. So after the leadoff out to Cameron Coons, Kevin Watley getting on base here for the Hoppers. That is their third single of the afternoon.
A great piece of hitting there by Watley. Just took that ball on the outside part of the plate, drove it to the right-hand side, didn't try to do too much with it. Just got the pitch he wanted and hit it the way he wanted it to.
So now Johnny Knight, the fourth, coming up to the plate here for this Eastside Diamond Hopper team. Runner on first over there is Watley.
Another new guy. This one, he's out of Jefferson, Ohio. Paul Nochi was a little concerned about how many guys he was bringing back this season. Only has 4 returners, but he's happy with the lineup he's got out on the field today.
Yeah, Johnny Knight taking called strike there. It's one of the tougher things. I'm a big fan of this Eastside Diamond Hopper team as I am from the east side of the state. So always, when you work here or whether you become a fan here, you sort of try and lend towards one team as a favorite. As this fastball high and inside there, Johnny Knight getting out of the way of that one. But this Eastside Diamond Hopper team, the only team in the league to not make it to a championship game through the first 2 years. Season 1, we had the Utica Unicorns defeating the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Last season, the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers defeated the Westside Woolly Mammoths. And the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, who have been a good team throughout the year, just couldn't really finish their season on the right foot as Johnny Knight on that 1-1 pitch hits that slow grounder right back to Cody Brown. Cody Brown fielding his position with the second out of the inning there. So we'll head to the bottom of the order. We got our bat dog, JJ, out there on the field of play. You can see him running around, chasing after the bat, trying to find it. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the best parts about minor league baseball. JJ picking that baseball bat up.
There we go.
And he finds it. He's doing his job. The fans absolutely loving it. Mentioned yesterday, JJ the Diamond Dog, just one of 3 bat dogs in all of professional baseball. We are excited to have him here this season with us.
Yeah, it's one of the happiest points of my days when I come in the office and JJ's running around here with our COO, Dana White. So it's a nice thing to see, and he's still a puppy out there, so we're going to cut him a little slack.
And then how about this, ladies and gentlemen? What a heads-up play from Kevin Watley over there at second base. He had been reading the pitcher, Cody Brown, through and through this inning. Noticed he was making about the same amount of looks over to those runners, and he was about halfway to third base when that pitcher, Cody Brown, was delivering the ball towards home plate. And then it was an easy decision there for Kevin Watley to go to third base. He beat the throw completely, and just like that, he's only 90 feet from scoring.
Well, a little bit of hesitation there, too. I'm not sure why Watley just didn't keep running after he had. I don't think it's hard to step off to go towards that right side if you're Cody Brown on the mound. So, I mean, still he got in there safe, but a nice throw there down by McAdams, excuse me.
So Watley over there on third base. Sebastian Diaz at the plate. He's ahead in the count here, 2-1. Infield and outfield playing in their normal spots. There's a nice gap in between in between center and right field. The 2-1 pitch missing high and inside to Sebastian Diaz. He's got a favorable count here now. 2 bases open, but I'm sure Brown wants to keep that pitch count down so he can go as long as he possibly can, playing with that 3-0 lead here. This ball hit hard over to the first baseman, but Dan Ward, the big fella, acting like a brick wall over there, keeps the ball in the infield, and he retires Sebastian Diaz for the third and final out. Kevin Watley goes all the way to third base but cannot come in to score after singling. And just like that, the Unicorns maintain their 3-0 lead. We're heading to the third inning here at Jimmy John's Field in Game 2 of this USPBL 2018 season. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're about ready to get underway here in this top half of the third inning. Utica Unicorns coming up to the plate. The man who made that great defensive play to end the second inning standing in here now, that's Dan Ward, the first baseman. Dan Ward out of Garfield Heights, Ohio. In his first plate appearance, he grounded out over there towards first base, where he plays here for this Utica team. So he did have the first RBI of the game when he drove in Carter Grote, but this ball lofted high into left field. No doubter. Gabe Gunter at the wall, but no opportunity to make that play. That baseball is gone. Unicorns with the 4-0 lead on the solo shot from Dan Ward, showing his power early on this season.
Ward knew he got all of that one there. He hit it, and he watched that thing go down as he trotted down the line. We were talking about Dan Ward's power earlier in the pregame, and that was just a great display of it right there. Actually, I had a chance to talk to Scott McDonald, VP of Marketing, and when Media Day was here and all the media members were out, he's the guy that he put out on the field to show the media that this USPBL and Dan Ward's got a lot of power.
He's going to be a fan favorite in due time, already showing what his talents can portray here for this Utica team, giving them the 4-0 advantage now. They have scored in all 3 of their innings at the plate. Now standing in is Jimmy Latona, who had reached on a full count walk back in that first inning. He looks at a ball in the dirt here. So right where he left off is Latona. Good eye up there at the plate is the left fielder. And this ball hit hard as well out into left center field. Johnny Knight the 4th at the track, at the wall, and this one is gone. Back-to-back home runs for the Unicorns. And just like that, it is 5-0 in favor of the men in purple.
Look at the 3-4 hitters going back-to-back like that. How about that? Pitches on the inside part of the plate, and they just got out there, extended their arms, and really drove those balls. Ward to left, Latona to center. How about that, Rich? 3-4 going back-to-back here in the 3rd.
I'll tell you what, we've talked with Chris Newell, the manager of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, throughout the offseason and as we've gotten underway here in 2018, and he has his implications. He's ready to give himself and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers another crown, but I'll tell you what, I know the Utica Unicorns, the 2016 USPBL champions, they're ready and they're itching to get back in there, and I'm sure this combination of Dan Ward and Jimmy Latona will be a big part of that, barring if they stay here, so knowing how long they could be, as this is, as first come, first serve, it is a developmental league.
That's the
this
issue.
Ball hit back up the middle. Spencer Ibarra now continuing the action here at the plate for the Unicorns. He had gone down in the count 0-1, but drives this one right back up the middle. Back-to-back home runs, and now the single for the Unicorns. That is 3 straight hits there, and then all on 3 straight pitches. Back-to-back-to-back. Home run, single. Not the way you want things to go if you're Devin Alexander.
Not
and
at
the
all.
Hoppers.
And now you start to wonder how long Alexander's gone out there. I see some movement down in the Diamond Hoppers bullpen on the left field side, so we're going to wait and see. But just great hitting display here by the Unicorns. And on your point, as you're saying earlier, this really is what this league's all about, is to get to the next level. And, you know, if guys like Ward, and who's the new guy here, keeps on hitting like that, you wonder how long he's going to stay at Jimmy John's Field.
So the 1-0 pitch to Chris Allen, high elevated fastball, but he elected to go after it. I mean, why wouldn't you? You see the previous 3 guys in this lineup take the ball pretty far, and on that 1-0 offering, you bet he was eager to attack it. This one in the dirt. Good stop there from Josh McAdams, who has had his struggles throughout this one. But a nice job there to keep Spencer Ibarra, the Ohio University native, MAC champion with that Ohio Bobcat team back in 2017. The 2-1 to Allen, the bender that doesn't fall over the heart of the plate. And it looks as if we got a number out there warming up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, as Alexander has been struggling here so far. It's Logan Gillespie, the right-hander out of Bakersfield, California. So we'll see what he can do once he comes in. It might not be too far until he enters this one, as just like that, Chris Allen looks at a 3-1 pitch, and this one not hitting the zone either. Alexander clearly struggling, not retiring a batter yet in this 3rd inning, and now Paul Noce, the manager of this Eastside Diamond Hopper team, coming out to have a conversation with the battery.
No movement yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he brings the hook with him. That's 4 straight batters that have either scored or gotten on, and it's not what you want to see out of your lefty here in the 3rd inning.
I'll tell you what, Noce out there right now, a dual purpose. Not only is he trying to calm his pitcher, Devin Alexander, down, but he's mainly out there to give the man in the bullpen some time in Logan Gillespie. Probably a conversation where Noce was like, listen, obviously you're struggling here, and Alexander's going to have to obviously knock this batter in Dylan Sprague out, whether it's a double play. I mean, we could get crazy and see a triple play here, but you got to imagine either way, you're going to have to get some sort of out in a productive way without allowing a base runner to get over or in here in this situation. You got to limit the damage. Already down 5-0 here in the 3rd.
Exactly, and as you were saying, he's out there with a dual purpose. He was giving that guy out in the bullpen, Gillespie, a little more time. I would think that this is probably Alexander's last batter of the night.
So that ball looks as if it might have been a foul ball. Got a piece of Josh McAdams. We saw Dylan Sprague kind of check his swing on that 1-0 offer, and it had ricocheted and gotten a piece of McAdams. Now the veteran umpire, Gary Wagenschute's doing his part, making a slow walk out to the mound, give the man who protects him some time over there behind the dish, but it looks like everybody is okay now. 26 balls to 31 strikes. Mr. Alexander now at 51 pitches here in just this third inning with nobody out and runners on first and second. You're facing off against the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up, but we wonder how long he, in fact, will last. Got to limit the damage here with 2 runners on.
Yeah, with nobody out here in the third inning at 51 pitches already, I wouldn't expect him to go much longer tonight.
And now that one just missing either a little bit low or a little bit outside. Just missing that corner was Devin Alexander. The 2-1 pitch will be delivered here coming up. Dylan Sprague, the lefty, in his first plate appearance, came in to score after walking on a full count back in the second inning. And now the 2-1 pitch getting away from Alexander as well. This one now 3-1. Last thing you want to do here is walk the bases loaded after already giving up a walk in this inning, a walk in last inning, and then 1 in the first. So a walk per inning for the left-hander. Last thing you want to do here is load up the bases with another walk. But he does a good job there on the 3-1 to force Dylan Sprague to foul this one off and out of play. Not good contact there.
Yeah, if Alexander wants his night to go any farther, he can't lose Sprague here at this point. Alexander's already given up 6 hits this evening.
The payoff pitch missing inside, and just like that, Devin Alexander with his 4th walk of the outing. And you got to imagine Paul Noce over there in that third base dugout probably going to be making a decision here shortly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough position to put Gillespie in, too. You bring him in out of the bullpen and no outs, bases loaded. He might just leave Alexander out here to give him a shot to get out of it, because that's tough. You know, first game of the season, you can't be putting a bullpen guy in there with the bases loaded, no outs against a power hitter like Lolio.
Lolio in his first plate appearance, grounding out to the 4-1 putout over there at first base, and Josh McAdams looked like a fastball down the heart of the plate. Not sure if Gary Wagenschuet's called it a ball or a strike, but it got away from McAdams. Looked to be a good pitch, but in a league like this, you got to make the plays at the dish, and unfortunately for McAdams and the Hoppers, in a much-needed strike situation, even when the pitcher does well, he cannot hold on to it. So Lolio fortunate of that, now ahead in the count here with the bases loaded.
And McAdams is just hurting Alexander at this point.
As Lolio fouls off that 1-0 offer, I'll tell you what, for as much as Devin Alexander is struggling, his strong suit here this evening is pitching that fastball inside on the hands of some of these power hitters, and he's at least limiting the damage when he can. Clearly, a couple of his pitches have been left over the plate, and obviously guys like Ward, Latona, and others have been taking full advantage of it, as Lolio fouls off that 1-1 opportunity out of play just at the far end of that third base dugout near our left field party patio area. Plenty of options here for you if you want to come out to Jimmy John's Field. We have our party patios out in left and right field, our Chevy Pavilion out there behind our left field wall. You got our suites down behind home plate as well as up on top of us above our press box on our third floor, as the 1-2 pitch is lined out down that left field line. It's going to be just foul into that corner. Gabe Gunter was ranging but could not get to that baseball in time. Lolio will stay alive in this one. The count remains 1-2.
Yeah, Jimmy John's Field, we have a unique experience here. One thing you can't do as a player out in the field, you can't give up on any ball. The way the lines are and how much room they have in between, I mean, you got to say there's almost 30, 40 feet worth of room in between the lines and where the dugouts and the fans actually seat. So with any ball out there, you can't give up, and it doesn't cut out until you get down to the bullpen, which is about 15 feet from the wall.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, me and some of the other people that have worked at the USPBL throughout the years, we sort of compare that sort of situation to the Oakland A's Coliseum, where there's tons of room both down the third and first base lines, plenty of action and room to make the play, but no plays have been made just yet, no theatrics in any of that open space here in 2018. But Lolio looking at that 1-2 pitch as that ball misses high and inside. A good opportunity here is the count even at 2-2 with the bases loaded. 2-2 pitch to Lolio, off speed, completely bends him over as he swings right through that one. But I'll tell you what, Josh McAdams taking a beating there behind home plate. I think Lolio must have fouled that one off.
Lolio's not leaving the box here. I think they're going to say it fouled it off, and McAdams looks like he took that foul ball off the wrist or something, because he's in a little pain now. Yeah, back on your prior point about how lots of room down these foul lines. How you compared it to the Oakland Coliseum. As a corner outfielder like I was, and I'm sure you played a little first base back in your day, that's your dream right there. You got tons of room. Any foul ball that goes up that way, you know you're going to get a little workout in, get the legs turning a little bit, but that's what you like to see as a corner infielder and a corner outfielder. So I'm sure when you're on the defensive end of things, you're not complaining too much.
So Lolio, the man out of Brownstown, Michigan, just an hour away here from us in Utica. Lolio on that long at bat hits a ground ball up the middle, and then a play at second base retires. That is Dylan Sprague for finally the first out of the inning for the Diamond Hoppers. Getting over to third base was Chris Allen.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Diaz was doing there. I thought he had a chance to get Lolio at first, but he turned and looked to make the play at third. Not really sure what he was looking for there. I think he had a double play lined up, but maybe just a mental lapse there.
Yeah, Lolio not the best of speed down that first baseline, but the man over there at second base, Sebastian Diaz, got crossed up, didn't know whether he wanted to go to first, over to third, plenty of options, and he just couldn't make that final decision, and that just one lack of concentration there ends up costing for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Utica Unicorns now with the 6-0 lead and still threatening here as we have Adrian Guzman, the number 9 hitter, standing in. He looks at strike one to begin his at-bat. He had grounded out to second base for out number 2 back in the previous second inning, but tell you what, this offense from this Utica team has been lethal so far in their first showing in 2018.
Yeah, just jumping on right there, and I'm sure Lolio's happy with the decision that Diaz made over at second base because that gives him an RBI now. If he would have got doubled off, it would have killed his RBI for the night.
So Alexander, we mentioned, struggling here and there throughout this outing. He officially at 70 pitches now in just this top of the third inning. Still got Logan Gillespie warming up out there in that left field bullpen. Guzman looks at that 1-1 pitch, a fastball on that outside corner. Nice call by home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz. Count 1-2 on the batter. Runners on the corners. Let's see if Lolio thinks about maybe trying to take second base on this 1-2 pitch. I would expect to see something either high out of the zone or something in the dirt. And there's your high and outside, Rich. That fastball on the 1-2 offer. Guzman not chasing after it as some other guys have so far throughout this game.
Well, I'm sure Alexander had it in the back of his mind, like you were saying, that maybe Lolio was going to try and swipe second here with the runner on third. So that high outside fastball is going to really keep Lolio over there at first, and if he would have won, it would have gave McAdams a good shot at throwing him out at second.
That 2-2 in the dirt, getting away from McAdams. Coming from third base is Mr. Allen, and he will come in to score. Tough night for Josh McAdams behind home plate, both physically and situationally. That one coming in to score is Allen. It is officially 7-0 in favor of the Unicorns. That's their 4th run of this third inning. All 4 guys that started, it was Ward with the leadoff home run, Latona with the back-to-back home runs, Spencer Ibarra with the single, he came in to score, and then Allen, who reached on the 3-1 walk, just came in to score on that one from Guzman.
I think that's going to go down as an error on McAdams because right away it's going to be a pass ball as it got trickled away from him, but then him with not being able to reach up and grab it, I think that's going to result in an error.
And that payoff pitch on the 3-2 hit softly over to the right side where Sebastian Diaz will retire Adrian Guzman for the 4-3 putout for out number 2, but that does drive Lolio over there to third base. So still a threat out there for the leadoff hitter, Carter Grote, who has been the man of the night so far. He's got the single and double to his credit, a run scored, an RBI as well, and another duck out there on the pond for the Utica Unicorns. Another opportunity to get a run across the board. They got 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and now 4 here in this top of the third. Devin Alexander just eating up some space here as this ball hit by Grote, and he will finally be retired as John Kraft comes in to catch the third and final out. But like we mentioned, 4 runs in that third inning, a couple of home runs for the Unicorns. They lead it by a score here of 7-0. We're halfway through the third. Eastside Diamond Hoppers looking to get their first runs of the ballgame when we come back. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to game number 2 of this 2018 USPBL season. We head back to the top of the order for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Just saw a Mother's Day shout out on the board up on our scoreboard as Cody Rusilli looks at called strike one to begin this at bat. You know, baseball, Mother's Day, they always do something special right around this time. We saw recently in the MLB as Rusilli swings and misses through that pitch. Stephen Piscotty of the Oakland A's, former St. Louis Cardinal. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the story or not, but Stephen Piscotty's mom had actually just passed away at the age of 55 of ALS as the 0-2 pitch on the slider, Rusilli fouls it off of his leg. But
it's a real great story.
It's a great story, mainly from the perspective of the St. Louis Cardinals, how Stephen Piscotty's mom, he's been living up in Oakland, California, around that area his whole life. His mom obviously diagnosed with ALS about a year or two ago, and then the St. Louis Cardinals had actually traded Stephen to the Oakland A's as a part of a gesture so he could be closer with his mom. And it's just a tough time, I'm assuming, for that family around this time of the year. Stephen on that leave there with the Oakland A's, but just well wishes to that family, and it's going to be a tough day for the Piscotty family and the Oakland A's tomorrow, but I'm sure they'll do a great gesture and honor her.
Yeah, it was a real tough moment. Piscotty actually came back and played with Athletics 2 days after his mother's passing, and it was a real touching moment. They gave him a standing ovation as he came onto the field, and he was very emotional, tears flowing and all. So, real great story. Our condolences go out to the Piscotty family, but
no doubt about that. Another standing ovation, I should say, as we get that little segue in there. Andrew McCutcheon had returned to Pittsburgh last night with the San Francisco Giants. Now, we've seen players that were beloved in certain organizations throughout years get their standing ovations when they return to the teams that they were once a Giant part of, but I don't think I've ever seen anything like what we saw with Andrew McCutcheon last night. He had meant so much to that Pittsburgh organization through his time until he was now with the San Francisco Giants, but a nice job there from Cody Brown on that 2-2 offering. Cody Rusilli getting retired for the second time this evening, grounded out to third base in his first plate appearance, and then strikes out looking right there. A really nice pitch on that outside frame from Cody Brown.
Yeah, fans weren't too sure about that one. I'm not positive if I saw that catch any of the zone there, but home plate umpire rung him up there, and Rusilli will head back to the dugout.
Hey, you learn young that when you're down with 2 strikes in the count, you got to protect on anything close, and that was a prime example right there. Might not have gotten the strike zone completely, but it did, in fact, get just enough there to retire Rusilli. But now Gabe Gunter standing in. He had that home run to left field. It didn't count to his stats for the 2018 season in that simulated game on Wednesday, but he has shown the power so far through this season. The 0-1 pitch to the left fielder Gunter misses in the dirt. Good stop there from Chris Allen of the Unicorns. Even at 1-1 is our count.
Gunter, another California guy. He's out of Thousands Oak, California. Just sitting at 22 years old, so lots of potential here.
This ball hit over to the right side of the infield where Dylan Sprague lays out to his right to make the play with ease. That, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, your 1-800-Hansons get it done play of the game. We've seen a lot of hitting so far from this Unicorn team, but they're showing the defensive theatrics as well. Really good, complete performance here. The hitting, the pitching, the defense. Utica Unicorns clearly playing a lot more experienced, I guess I should say, compared to this Eastside team. They're just running the train here so far this evening.
Yeah, if you're manager Jim Essien for the Utica Unicorns, you're real happy with what you've seen so far. Tons of offense, and what a play there by Dylan Sprague to sprawl out towards his right side and snag a hit from Gabe Gunter.
So now Gunnar Buhner standing in for this Eastside team. Looks at a couple of pitches, one hitting the strike zone, one missing. And now he had singled in the first inning with a 2-out single after Cody Rusilli and Gabe Gunter had made a couple of groundouts. As the 1-1 pitch, nowhere near the zone. But overall, Cody Brown has looked pretty well in this one.
It's been efficient.
He had 20 pitches through the first inning, 37 through 2. He had given up just 3 hits so far in this one, but Gunnar Buhner, one of those back in that first inning. 2-1 pitch missing outside, but tell you what, you got to keep that mental edge if you're on the mound here. You got a 7-run lead here. Don't want to let anything get away from you, especially that attention span out there on the mound.
You can't let up at all. Someone's fouled back to the right side to run the count full. You can't let up at all if you're on the mound for Cody Brown, because now you get into this point where, hey, you're up 7 runs. Diamond Hoppers come up here, chip off 2 here, 2 here. They're down by 3, and then they're slowly starting to get back into the game. You can't give that mental lapse up at all. Keep focused, get out there, make some quick outs, and get your team back in the dugout, score some more runs.
So the delivery hit to the left side by Gunnar Buhner. Carter Grote with the throw over to the right side. Dan Ward keeping that one in front of him, as that one had, in fact, touched the ground before it had rang into the glove. But no runs in that inning for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. They remain scoreless on the mound, and they remain scoreless on the board. It's 7-0 in favor of the Unicorns. We head to the top of the 4th inning. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this game number 2 of the 2018 USPBL season. We head to the top of the 4th inning. A new arm on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. That is Logan Gillespie. Gillespie will face off against the only man that did not have a plate appearance in the 3rd inning for the Unicorns in Justin Erlanderson. Erlanderson swings right through the first pitch he sees. The man that started on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, Devin Alexander, 3 innings to his credit, gave up 6 hits as Erlanderson looks at ball 1, low and inside to even the count up at 1-1. But Alexander in those 3 innings gave up 6 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 walks, only had the 1 strikeout to his credit. So not the best outing, can really only go up from here if you're Devin Alexander. Not the exact outing Paul Noce and company wanted to see out of their day 1 starter, but a man with an opportunity in Logan Gillespie here to show his stuff, maybe shut down the Unicorns for the rest of the game and see what the offense on the other end can do for the Hoppers. Could turn this one around at some point. And a good start right there. Almost struck out Erlanderson, but just getting a piece of that one keeps the count at 1-2.
Yeah, Gillespie's out of Bakersfield, California, just 21 years old. Played 2 years at Oxnard College, a community college out in Southern Cali. So getting a chance here in the USPBL, I'm sure he was one of those finds that Noce had in the offseason.
As Erlanderson swings right through the 1-2 offering, a great start for the man out of Bakersfield, California. Logan Gillespie 1 up, 1 down via the swing and miss.
A great piece of pitching there by Gillespie. Got Erlanderson down on the count and brought the heater high and couldn't catch up to it.
So Erlanderson is one story. He just struck out for his 2nd time tonight, but the 2 men coming up here will be a whole different battle for Mr. Gillespie. The two men coming up, both in Dan Ward and Jimmy Latona, have left the yard here this evening. Let's see if Gillespie can keep them in the park. You see him start off with that two-seamer inside. Dan Ward with another big swing like he always has. Gets good contact on it, but can't get it in the field of play. The count 0-1 here on the foul ball.
And Ward about swung out of his shoes on that one there. Might be a little amped up with the crowd here after already going yard once this evening. Trying to do it again off of Gillespie, but he's got to really stay back and find his pitch.
The 0-1 from Gillespie, a fastball looked good from our vantage point as it was left to right it was, but it might have been a little bit low there as Ward, we mentioned, one of the bigger guys in this league. The count even here at 1-1. That 1-1 pitch, another fastball inside. Ward with that long swing, couldn't get around to it in time, and another foul ball goes here down in the count. It's 1-2.
Well, we got the window open here in the broadcast booth, and you can already tell the fans, especially the younger ones, are getting into Ward a little bit. Lots of them yelling, telling him to hit another one out there to left field. So great start for Ward.
That slider just getting enough for the outside corner. A perfect pitch there from Logan Gillespie. Dan Ward had seen fastball after fastball in that at-bat, but something a little different freezes him off guard there. And back-to-back strikeouts for the man out of Oxnard College. Logan Gillespie looking really sharp here in succession to Mr. Alexander.
Yeah, impressive start here for Gillespie. I know it's only two batters, but that slider on the outside part of the plate was real nice there and got Ward looking.
So he retires the man who had a home run in Mr. Dan Ward, but now another offensive threat in Jimmy Latona stands in now. He looks at a ball to start this at-bat. Gillespie with the fastball, just missing on that outside corner, evens the count up at 1-1. Sun starting to officially set here. Lights coming on at Jimmy Johns Field. The flag in center field is completely down, so wind not a factor in this one anymore. But the 1-1 offer misses the zone, and it's now 2-1.
Well, and with the wind dying down like this, actually the first time it's done it all week long with that cold front blowing in that we experienced yesterday with all that rain. It's been windy all week, but nice little mix-up here to have no wind. The guys are still getting the balls up and getting them out.
That pitch right there, getting just enough of that outside corner. Latona was thinking about getting a base on balls, but he holds off, and count now 3-1. There goes ball four. Missing that one was McAdams, who's had a tough night there behind home plate, but either way, runner getting over there to first base is Latona. That is his third time that he has reached base safely. Second walk of the evening, and he also has that home run to his credit. So Latona is starting to take charge now at the plate. We talked about Carter Grote with those singles and doubles early on, but Latona, the only unicorn to get on through his first three at-bats.
Well, after that shot Latona hit there in the third inning, I don't know how close I'll be throwing it to him here, but great at-bats by Latona to start the game.
So now Spencer Ibarra stands in from the left side for the Unicorns, looks at a called strike to begin this at-bat. He had popped out to second base to end the first inning, and then singled and came around to score back in the third. He's got an opportunity with a man on here to widen this Unicorn lead. It's already 7-0 in their favor. This ball fought off and out of play it goes. Quickly down in the count here, the Ohio University native is Spencer Ibarra. He's got to protect here.
Yeah, down 0-2. It's been a kind of a roller coaster first couple batters for Gillespie. Strikes out the first two, walks the third one. Now he's got Ibarra down 0-2.
So Ibarra 1 for 2 on the evening so far. The 0-2 pitch hit hard over to that right side. Nice job by Cameron Coons to not only field that baseball, but make the decision to take it all on his own over back at first base. Showing the athleticism was that man, Cameron Coons. Good defense in that inning from the Hoppers, as well as a couple of strikeouts, but they're still looking for their first run of the ballgame offensively. It's 7-0 in favor of the Unicorns still. We'll head to the home half of the fourth when we come back. Looks to see as if Cody Brown is making his way back out for his fourth inning of work. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcast in the 2018 USPBL season. Game 2 here between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and Utica Unicorns. It's been all Unicorns throughout the first 3.5 innings. They lead it 7-0. The man on the mound, Cody Brown, back out for his 4th inning of work. So far throughout this night, 53 pitches. The differencing 28 strikes to 25 balls. That's not really a good comparison,
not
but
at all.
As far as the success has gone, it's the 25 balls to 28 strikes really haven't played a factor. He's pitching to weak contact. He's thrown some strikeouts, but overall a good performance for the Unicorns. And obviously with the run support, you're going to keep him out a little bit longer than you might expect when you see a pitch count even that much.
Yeah, that's one thing you're going to look at if you're manager Jim Essian is he's out here, he's not giving up any runs, but there's a couple things you got to clean up. And I know that in the developmental system with Justin Orenduff, our director of baseball operations here, that's something they want to look at, want to clean up, because you can look at an outing and go, okay, he goes 5-6 innings, doesn't give up any runs, but if he throws, over 100 pitches, that's a concern for these guys. But right now, Cody Brown doing a good job of keeping the Diamond Hoppers off the board.
This ball, the 0-1 offer, hit hard over to the left side where Carter Grote will make the play with ease. Josh McAdams, who had singled in that first inning, gets retired via the 5-3 putout here for out number 1 in this bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, Grote's really making all the plays over third base. Been hot with the bat tonight this evening too. So Grote's really made his name known out there to all these fans, all the coaches in Game 1. Oh, ugly swing there by Kraft.
So Kraft down in the count here 0-1 early. He had struck out to end the first inning for the Hoppers, so not a good start to his 2018 campaign. And look at that, a check swing. He tried to hold off on it, but it ends up staying fair down that third base line. A really nice response from Carter Grote. He did about everything as he could, but that ball just in the dirt and probably not in time to retire John Kraft. So he reaches base safely, and it looks as if they're going to rule it a hit. That was a tough play there for Carter Grote. And you know what? The speed down the line, Kraft wasn't expecting to have to run down the line as he was trying to hold back on that pitch, but it in fact turns into a positive for him and the Hoppers. You know what? When things really aren't going your way, sometimes it's those little blunkers that go down the line, and we'll see if that gets things going here for the Diamond Hoppers.
Yeah, I'm sure Kraft is really happy to see that, get his first hit of the season.
As this ball could be 2 for the Unicorns, the 6, the 4, but no 3 over there at first base. The speed down the line from Cameron Coons will get him on with the fielder's choice. John Kraft gets retired via the 6-4 putout for out number 2. But the Diamond Hoppers still alive here in this home half of the 4th as Kevin Watley will stand in. He also has one of the 4 hits for the Diamond Hoppers this evening. Let's see if he can get another one.
Yeah, again, the field conditions are really affecting play this evening. That ball should have been a double play, but with the grass still a little damp from the torrential downpours we had last night into this morning, held the ball up a little bit and didn't give that duo in the middle the opportunity to turn 2.
So a runner on first. The new batter is Watley. Takes a cut in his first opportunity of this at-bat, but it goes back into the top of the netting. Fans still sticking around here, as the one thing we worry about in these early May games in the state of Michigan, you're not always sure what the weather will bring, but it's enough to be playable on the field. The degree has only dropped 2 degrees since this game has started. It started at 54, but we're now at 52. Count here even at 1-1 for Kevin Watley, as he's trying to drive in the first runs of the game for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. They desperately need it here. They're trailing this one 7-0. Unicorns out front in this first official game of the 2018 USPBL season. You see that slider out of the hand of Cody Brown there, getting enough of that outside corner. Watley not sure if he agreed with that one or not, but it was a pretty perfect pitch there from the right-hander. It started in the zone, and then right at the last second, it had fallen out, but it got enough of that outside half from home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz. And then the 1-2, the slider once again fooling the man at the plate, Kevin Watley. Looked to be about back-to-back pitches with that slider in about that exact same spot.
Didn't look comfortable up the plate there for Watley.
So another strikeout to Cody Brown's credit. He retires the Hoppers with ease in the fourth. They remain scoreless. It's 7-0 Unicorns. We head to the top of the fifth. We'll be right back. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We head to this top of the fifth inning. Utica Unicorns out in front of this one, 7-0 with the 6 hits to their credit. The man at the plate, Chris Allen, with one of them. He singled and scored in the second, walked and scored in the third. He's looking to continue that trend here in this top of the fifth inning. He looks at called strike one to begin his at-bat here. Gillespie back out on the mound for his second inning of work. He had 15 pitches as he throws ball one right there to even the count up at 1-1. But in that first inning of work in the fourth, he had 15 pitches, 11 of them for strikes. Just the one man left on base when he had walked Latona. This ball hit hard to the right side. A little kerfuffle there for the man at second, Sebastian Diaz. He had initially bobbled it a little bit, but looks as if he would have been able to continue and make that play, but he got all up in his head over there, ends up making the bad throw as well. So sort of a mental error and then a physical one as well. It'll only go up on the board as the one error, but definitely an E4 in the books right there. Allen reaches for the third time today, but that one via the error. A tough spot there for Sebastian Diaz and the Hoppers, as clearly no mistakes can be made throughout the rest of this one if they have any intentions of coming back. And especially for Paul Noce, that's something you don't want to see at all. First of all, a routine grounding like that, and he bobbles it. And then he rushes his play, makes a bad throw over there to Cameron Coons on first base, and there's nothing Coons could have done in that situation. So Allen gets lucky, gets on base for his third time this evening, and he's been all around the diamond, scored twice already, and looking for Sprague to drive him in. Sprague looks at a ball with the changeup to start this at-bat. Allen, not with plenty of speed as he is the catcher for the Utica Unicorn team, but always a threat on the base pass mentally, at least keeping the pitcher preoccupied, but throws a strike right there. The count even at 1-1 to Dylan Sprague.
And if you're the pitcher on the mound, if you're Gillespie, you know, a routine grounding like that, it's got to be very frustrating.
Speaking of routine ground ball, the chopper over to the right side going to go after Diaz once again. Diaz had thought about going to second to retire Allen, but made the smart decision, realized that Allen was already going to be getting into second with ease, so he gets the easy out to retire Dylan Sprague with the 4-3 put out for out number one. And you mentioned that Allen had reached base 3 times. We were talking with a couple of our other broadcasting interns up here in the booth. We got Luke and we got Jared and we got Drew up here in the booth with us. We're talking about our Pick the Sticks, as some Tiger fans, not sure if everybody listening to the broadcast is in fact a Tiger fan, but they do a thing called Pick the Stick where they choose a player before the game. We'll start to do something along those lines once we get our feet wet here up in the broadcast booth. But tell you what, Jimmy Latona with the 2 walks and the solo shot to his credit, looks to be our early pick the stick
Looking
winner.
pretty good today, huh, Rich?
We'll see what else happens. You mentioned Chris Allen reaching 3 times. The game is still far from over here.
And you can't forget about Carter Grote. On the offensive side of things and the defensive side of things, Grote's got an RBI tonight, 2 hits. It made some really fine plays over at third base tonight, so we'll see what the rest of this game brings.
Lolio on the 0-1 offer, lofts one high and deep into left field, but it looks like it will, in fact, stay in the ballpark. Gabe Gunter ranging all the way to where that grass meets the warning track, right in that left field area, comes up with the catch. Lolio with the big fly. We talked about how he's going to try and get that launch angle working for some more power this season, but just about 10 feet short of that about, 320, 330 wall in left center.
Down the line to left, it's actually really shallow. I know that Matt Derry and Jim Estienne were talking earlier out front, and Estienne called it a cracker jack box here stadium with Jimmy John's Field. Only 315 down the line to left. So around that side, it's probably getting around to 330. But, you get one in the air to left field, he beans Guzman.
Yeah, Adrian Guzman was ready for the first offering out of the hand of Gillespie, but Gillespie filling that open base over at first by drilling Guzman. Guzman reaches base safely for the first time today. He had actually grounded out twice to Sebastian Diaz at second base throughout his first 2 plate appearances, but he reaches base for the first time in the 2018 season. Probably not the way he would have liked, but hey, you'll take what you can get early on here.
A base runner is a base runner, and for Jim Estienne, he's not going to complain.
So runners now at first and second. The ball getting a little bit away from
McAdams continues to struggle behind the plate.
McAdams. He's had a tough night, both physically and situationally. The count 1-0 here as we go back to the top of the order. Carter Grote with that single and double in his first 2 plate appearances. He did fly out to right field to end the third. This 1-0 pitch missing outside brings the count to 2-0. And if you're Gillespie here, you got to be careful. You have the man over there on second who reached on an error, which obviously isn't his fault. So if he comes in to score, it would not be an earned run. But then you got the hit by pitch in between the 2 outs. And now down in the count 2-0 and now 3-0. Last thing you want to do is walk the leadoff batter to get to the number 2 hole hitter with bases loaded.
That's not what you want to see out of Gillespie. He had a sharp first inning of work this evening, and now not really his fault. He's had a couple errors, a fielder's choice in this 5th inning of work, but you kind of wonder about it now.
The 3-0 pitch finding the strike zone. There is Gillespie, so hasn't lost it completely yet, but still in a big hole. Your team clearly down 7-0 already. You had a good outing in the previous inning. But some action now, and just like that, the 3-1 pitch, he walks another one, that is his first walk. Or no, I do take it back. That is his second walk. He had walked Latona back in that 4th inning, but either way, bases loaded here now for Justin Erlanderson. And if I check out these stats correctly, it looks as if Erlanderson that is correct. Erlanderson, the only unicorn to not reach base completely.
And now Erlanderson with the drive left side. It's going to get him out of the inning, though.
So the easy play after that tough situation for the Hoppers, the hard ground ball over to Gunnar Buhner at third base. He takes that play all on his own with the force out at third base. So the Unicorns threaten once again in the 5th inning, but leave them loaded, and they still lead at 7-0. We are halfway through the 5th inning in this game number 2 of the USPBL 2018 season. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcast with the USPBL YouTube channel. Unicorns and Hoppers in the action. We head to this home half of the 5th inning where Cody Brown's night for the Unicorns is done. He had gone 4 innings strong, given up 4 hits in the 62 pitches that he had thrown. He gave up no runs, no walks, and had 3 strikeouts to his credit. John Knight with the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, the first batter that the new pitcher will face off. The new pitcher, Will Marshall, out of Dallas, Texas, just 5'4" and 155 pounds, but clearly one of the biggest hearts in this league, and he's clearly got some nasty stuff. That 1-0 slider just missing outside.
Yeah, Marshall went to the University of Dallas, and for the Crusaders, played there for 3 years, worked in 26 career appearances, and this final season led the team in games played with 8 and threw 14.1 innings. And that would be for relievers.
That's pretty good stats there for the man out of the big heart of Texas. That 2-0 offer to John Knight. He had taken down the third baseline, but just going foul was that baseball. Carter Grote had fielded the ball, but it was just foul down that line. It would have been a really tough play for Grote to make. I bet you if Johnny Knight had kept that ball just fair, he would have been over there at first base with his first hit of his USPBL career.
Our PA announcer, Johnny G, was jumping the gun a little bit on that next call.
So Johnny Knight still up at the plate. The count here 2-1. He 0 for 1 on the night with a ground out via the 1-3 for out number 2 back in that second inning. But Will Marshall pitching here to Johnny Knight. Johnny Knight finding the ball in the field, and that one just dropping in shallow right field, getting over there to Spencer Ibarra. But Johnny Knight with his first USPBL hit, and that one threatening Hoppers finally with their, let's see here, that is their first leadoff man of any inning to reach base. First inning was a ground out, second inning was a ground out, third inning was a strikeout, and the fourth inning was a ground out as well. So the first leadoff man on for the Diamond Hoppers in this one. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
Yeah, no, great piece of hitting there by Johnny Knight to get his first career USPBL hit. Now see if Diaz can move him over in the 9-hole.
Sebastian Diaz up at the plate, swings at the first offer he sees. It's going to be a tough play for Marshall, but look at that. The man on the mound playing his role. A tough spot with that slow ground ball on the left side of the infield, but he makes it look really easy. Retires Sebastian Diaz over there at first base. He does, in fact, move Johnny Knight over to second. It's technically your unofficial sacrifice. It'll obviously go down in the books as a ground out, but getting over to second is Johnny Knight. Finally, the Hoppers with a man in scoring position here, an opportunity. And we go back to the top of the order. Cody Rucelli with his third plate appearance of the night coming up, looking for his first hit.
You know, it's a great play there by Marshall to get over, barehand the ball, and what a stretch by the big man Ward at first base. That's really what got Diaz out.
So now Cody Rucelli standing in here with a man on second base and 1 out. Rucelli looks at the first offer he sees, and that one stays out of the zone. The count goes to 1-0 in his favor, but overall just not the best performance with the bats for the Hoppers throughout this first 4.5 innings of play. They really need to sharpen it up a little bit if they want to get anywhere near close to being back in this game. That ground ball hit off the bat of Rucelli, probably the last spot that you would want it, right directly at where the base runner Johnny Knight was standing. He could only make one decision, and that was the smart one to go back to second base, but a really nice job there by the shortstop, Adrian Guzman, to not only control Johnny Knight to keep him at second, but to, of course, make the throw over there and retire the leadoff man with some speed.
Yeah, as you were saying, it was hit in the exact position where Johnny Knight actually, if you look back at it, he actually made the smartest possible decision there, because if he would have took off a smart shortstop, and we've got over for the Unicorns at short, that's Adrian Guzman, would have turned around and thrown him out of third base and would have had an easy out. So good base running by Knight to keep this inning alive for the Diamond Hoppers.
So now Gabe Gunter standing in. Will Marshall with that bender inside. Misses the zone. Gunther on the evening, 0 for 2, grounded out to first base in the first inning, and then lined out over to second. So he's pulled the ball twice. Let's see if he can maybe try and sit on this slower pitching out of the hand of Will Marshall and try and take something the other way. The 1-0 pitch missing outside. The count now 2-0 on the batter. We mentioned Gunter hasn't done anything productive here yet in this game, but he did have that solo shot in our simulation game on Wednesday. So, you know, he has the power, just nothing to show for it statistically here yet in 2018, but plenty of time to come.
You know, one of the things you wonder about here in the USPBL is if we're going to see the shift that we see in other organizations around baseball, and especially the major leagues. But with the lack of lefties in the lineups for these 4 teams, I don't think that's something you're going to see implemented until you know that a guy like Gunter, or I know an example on the Unicorns would be Nico Lolio, until they start pulling the ball real hard, you're not going to see that shift.
As Gunter takes the 2-1 pitch the other way, the left fielder, that is Jimmy Latona. He can't make the play in the air, but he does try to get the play at the plate, but instead Johnny Knight going to come in around to score. And finally, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers have reached the board. It is 7-1 as Gunter gets his first official hit of the 2018 season. It comes as an RBI single as he moves over to second base on that throw.
And just as I was talking about him pulling the ball, he comes up and just does a great job of driving the ball the other way to score Johnny Knight and get the Diamond Hoppers on the board, chipping away at that lead, Rich.
Chipping away, that's all you really can do. We're still here in this 5th inning, still 4 innings to play here after this one, so still a lot of time left, as we would say in any other sport, on the clock, but obviously no clocks here in baseball, so we could go as far as we want to until we get that final 27th out. Gunnar Buhner, the batter now, fouls off the first offer he sees out of the hand of Will Marshall off towards that right side. Standing on second base is Gunter, trying to get something put together here. He started this 2-out rally as Johnny Knight led off this 5th inning with a single, came in to score on that single from Gunter. The 0-1 to Buhner looked good up here, but home plate umpire clearly with the better view right behind home plate as he lets this one go. It's 1-1 on the batter.
Yeah, that one just missed high there. I know Marshall would want that pitch, but one thing they've talked about with Gunnar Buhner, I know a lot of people in the Diamond Hoppers organization really like the power he brings in that 3-hole.
As this ball's lifted high and shallow into right field where Spencer Ibarra will come up to make the catch for the 3rd and final out. Eastside Diamond Hoppers finally get on the board. They score 1 run on 2 hits in that home half of the 5th inning, but the Unicorns still out front and by many. It is 7-1 in their favor. We're about to head to the 6th inning. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We head to the 6th inning. Unicorns out in front, 7-1 here over the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. We have Dan Ward stepping up to the plate in this one. He's ahead in the count here, 1-0, as he looks at a fastball missing very inside. Now ahead in the count here, 2-0. But Ward on the evening had that solo shot to lead off the 3rd that sprung a 4-run barrage of hits for the Unicorns, and that was the last time that they had been put up on the scoreboard. 1 run in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the third, but they have been blank ever since Connor Gillespie had came out to pitch for the Logan Gillespie. On that last pitch right there, Ward working the 4-0 walk. Last thing you want to see if you're the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
Yeah, Gillespie, after coming in after that third inning, he's entering his third inning of work here and not doing a bad job. Way too many walks, and I know Paul Nochi doesn't want to see that. But, loaded the bases up last inning. I see tons of movement down to the bullpen. One guy's in full form down there that looks like Torrey DeShazier, and I know another one looking like he's just starting to warm up. So you wonder how long Gillespie's night's going to go, especially after another walk.
As Jimmy Latona stands in here now for the Utica Unicorns, we were talking about he was in the running for our pick the stick, as he's got 2 walks and a home run to his credit, yet to be retired up at the plate. Gillespie gives a quick check over at first base and then brings the fastball high and inside to Latona. The count evens up now at 1-1.
Yeah, it looks like Gillespie's working with some control issues here. The first batter that came to the plate this inning was Ward, and he almost hit him about 3 times, and that time Latona almost got hit with that inside fastball.
As this ball getting away there from the batter, it's a foul ball. Latona now down in the count here, 1-2, but like we mentioned, he's having a good night. Let's see if he can keep it going. He's got to protect here now in the toughest spot he's been all night at the plate.
Yeah. Best case scenario for Gillespie would be that ground ball, but, he's just trying to get Latona out here.
That slider missing outside evens the count up at 2-2. Mentioned tonight's WCSX Classic Rock Saturday. We had the Journey Tribute Band presented by our credit union. We got a ball game tomorrow afternoon, the Sunday 1:05 start. That's the time that all of our Sunday games will be played as Latona fouls off the off-speed pitch out of play. Tomorrow evening, these Eastside Diamond Hoppers will be back in action against the defending champs, the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. It'll be Sunday Fun Day. Of course, Mother's Day tomorrow. We got a Mother's Day brunch pregame, and then that is presented by Thrifty Florist.
Latona now with the count evened up. Needs to stay true here.
As the 2-2 pitch, Latona retired for the first time tonight. This one, the swing and the miss. He was actually looking back towards the home plate umpire, Gary Wagenschutz, to see if that would have been a strike if he didn't elect to swing. I saw the nod from the home plate umpire. So Latona had, in fact, swung at a strike. We do have that action up in the bullpen. Looks to be Alex Vargas out of Freeport, New York, number 40. And 43 pitches now for Gillespie on the mound, starting to get up with that pitch count. See how long he lasts, as he's done better than the starter for the Diamond Hoppers, Devin Alexander. He has maintained the motion and momentum, at least from a slowing down standpoint, for the East Side team.
You see this a lot in baseball. A team jumps out early to 6-7 runs. Someone's fouled back to the screen. Jumps out 6-7 runs, and then the game kind of slows down for a little bit. Both sides don't really muster anything across. I don't know if it's a mental lapse in the players. Game gets out of hand too early, and then they kind of just let the game take over and try to get through some middle innings. But, the Unicorns want to get back on the board after not scoring in the previous 2.
I'll tell you what, it's one of the hardest things about this great game of baseball, as Spencer Ibarra hits a slow roller over to the left side, and that ball is just going to absolutely eat up Kevin Watley over there at shortstop. He was running, sprinting, charging that ground ball, the slow roller, and unfortunately for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, another just unfortunate circumstance there. It's going to end up going down in the books as an E6, but really a tough hop, just mistimed that one from the man charging to try and make that play, and instead of the out going over there to first base, he reaches on the air, is Ibarra, and now the Utica Unicorns threatening here once again. The walk and then the error brings runners to first and second, and now Chris Allen, who also has yet to have been retired on the night, swings and misses through that offering. He had singled and came around to score after he led off that second inning, walked, came in to score in the third, and then reached on an error back in the previous 5th inning. Down in the count here, 0-1.
Yeah, Allen getting on every way he can tonight.
As the 0-1 pitch, the slider swinging right through was Chris Allen. He's quickly down in the count here, 0-2.
You know Allen's going to put up a fight here after getting on all 3 times in the first couple innings of this game. You know he's feeling it out there.
0-2 pitch to Allen is
driven.
hit high and deep near the scoreboard. It got lost in the light. Will it stay in the park? Yes, it will. It goes down off the wall into center field. Johnny Knight the fourth going after it, rounding and making his way to third is Chris Allen, and he slides in just ahead of the throw. That is a 2 RBI triple for Chris Allen, the catcher. That is his second hit of the night, and what an evening this night so far for the Unicorns. They lead it now 9-1.
Yeah, Allen really put a drive into that one. What a night he's having. Just as I was saying, you know, down in the count 0-2, and he took that pitch off of Gillespie and just drove it to left center field. Right out there, it's probably around the 360, 370 mark as it starts to cut towards the center field fence, which tops out at 395, but Allen almost put that thing out.
I'll tell you what, when it comes to walks and errors, it's just it's tougher to swallow from a defensive standpoint. You had an opportunity, you had the strikeout to Jimmy Latona, but if just imagine if the shortstop Kevin Watley had made that play on Spencer Ibarra on that error, and then maybe it would have transitioned into something better for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers when it comes to Chris Allen's at-bat. But just mental mistakes leading up to that 2 RBI triple for Chris Allen, the man out of Louisville, Kentucky, with a big spot there, gives the Unicorns that much more of an insurance lead. He stands over there at third base with that triple. Dylan Sprague up at the plate here now. He's looked at a couple of pitches. The count now 2-1 on the left-hander. He had came in to score on a walk back in the second. Walked but got taken out at second. Back in the second. Grounded out in the 5th inning. And he stands in here now, looks at another one. And the count now 3-1 on the left-hander.
And again, McAdams continues to run into problems. Another ball gets past him there. You know, he's got to pay attention, especially in these situations with a runner on third. Allen has already shown his speed today, especially with that triple getting off. And we talked about Allen being a catcher, but he's gotten moving tonight on the base paths. So if you're McAdams, you got to be careful.
That 3-1 offer, Dylan Sprague thought that one stayed up just a bit, but home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz calling it a strike. So this one has rung full completely. Sprague nodded his head, realized that was a strike. He tried to sell it a little bit, but fighting still in here is Gillespie. Gillespie trying to retire Sprague in a big spot. 3-2, fouled off, and we'll do it all over again.
Yeah, great defensive hack there by Sprague. Knew that's not the pitch he wanted, so he just kind of threw his bat out there towards it, got a piece of it, sent it back over the screen on the left-hand side. Great way to use the bat if you're Sprague and wait for the pitch you want.
The 3-2 pitch, changeup. Home plate umpire rings him up. Sprague looks at back-to-back pitches. First one on the inside frame, this one on the outside. Sprague goes down via the look. That's the first strikeout of the night for Sprague. He heads back to the dugout with his head down and the bat on his shoulders. But now Nico Lolio stands in. He had a big fly out in the previous 5th inning out to left field where Gabe Gunter stands. We'll see if Lolio can put another big fly up with that runner on third base and Chris Allen.
Yeah, that last at bat there, Sprague was not happy about that call at all. You saw him throw his hand up right after the pitch as Lolio
hits a high fly ball. He drops the bat. He thinks this one's gone, and in fact it is. Into the trees, into right center. We talked about Nico Lolio's power and how much he wanted to improve on it this season, and look at that. First game of the season for Nico Lolio, 4th at bat, drives one into the gap and puts it over the fence. The Hoppers trail this one now by a big score. It is 11-1 in favor of the Unicorns, courtesy of Nico Lolio.
Yeah, Lolio knew he got that one right off the bat. He watched it fly, and that's a deep part out there. It's 395 straightaway center, and it looks like it cuts back even farther when you get to right center. Lolio put that one just about 400 feet, Rich.
So just overall a tough night for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Utica Unicorns in complete control of this one from start to where we are at now here in this 6th inning. 1 run in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the fourth, or excuse me, 4 in the third, and now 4 more here in this 6th inning. Gillespie continuing to struggle, and look at that. Adrian Guzman, after grounding out to second base in his first 2 at-bats, gets hit by a pitch in his last 2.
Second at-bat in a row where Guzman gets hit by the first pitch, a fastball, too. I'm sure Guzman isn't very happy with that outcome. I mean, I'm sure it's nothing intentional by Gillespie, but still not very happy.
Just that mental state, got to imagine, for Gillespie, sort of rattled right now. Already 4 runs coming in to score. That last one courtesy of Nico Lolio's 2 RBI home run. And you got to imagine just the mental state there of Gillespie really fighting here now as that last pitch drilling Guzman. Got to imagine the mental state there for Gillespie not at his best.
Yeah, and if you're Guzman, it's nothing intentional there. Gillespie's not up there trying to hit you. I mean, you look at after the home run there, a big home run by Nico Lolio. But, again, it is a developmental league, so you're going to see these laps where the pitcher misses his spots. And unfortunately for Guzman, that just makes 2 at-bats and 2 innings in a row where he's gotten beaten by a heater.
So the count 1-1 on Carter Grote. Gillespie with the off-speed pitch. That ball stopped by the shortstop, Kevin Watley, with the strange. And you know what? He makes the play at first. Dives to his right, stops the baseball. He completes half the play, and then rifles one over to first to retire the leadoff batter, Carter Grote.
How about that play by Watley?
Great defensive adjustment there for the Hoppers, but the Unicorns end up getting 4 more runs in the the top half of the 6th, and they lead it by a score of 11-1. All Unicorns here on our first complete game of the 2018 USPBL season, but we're not done yet. We're heading to the home half of the 6th when we come back. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with the USPBL YouTube channel, headed to the home half of the 6th inning. Utica Unicorns in front of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, 11-1 in this one. A new arm on the mound for the Unicorns. Will Marshall's night is done after just 1 inning. He had given up 2 hits in that inning, 1 earned run. No walks, no strikeouts to his credit, but now he gives way to Eric Thomas, the right-hander out of York, PA. Let's hear a little bit about our new man on the mound, Mr. Brecht.
Yeah, Eric Thomas. He's got a 5-pitch arsenal. Big lefty off the mound. Actually, the only lefty. Only lefty in the Unicorns bullpen out there. He throws a 4-seam, a 2-seam, a changeup, a curveball, and a slider. His slider is this get-me-out pitch. Loves throwing the slider when he's up in the count. And actually, a fun little fact, he was rivals with Beavers assistant coach Ray Ortega back in the day.
So some good insight here from some of our broadcast interns here. Got Luke Hammond as well as Drew Kell getting some stats here for us. Appreciate that as always. Got McAdams up here at the plate, even at a 1-1 count. Singled back in the first, grounded out to third in the 4th. Looks at a bender that misses the zone just low and inside there to McAdams. A nice pitch there from Thomas, but like you mentioned, Dakota, the only left-handed pitcher on this Unicorn staff. not sure if that will remain the same throughout the rest of the season. As we mentioned, in this developmental league, players will be coming in and out as players get picked up by major league affiliate teams. Players could also be on the other end of that spectrum where some guys might not perform the way that some of our scouts had suspected, and I've seen guys as well not only leave the league for good reason but for bad as well. Guys will be fluctuating in and out of this league as the season goes on, so we'll be getting used to brand new faces as we go along. But Josh McAdams with a hard line drive, so hard that Adrian Guzman, the man that was hit in his last 2 at-bats, this one, a line drive right off the glove. Guzman had been ranging to his right, but that ball was hit so hard that it could have probably went either way in the scorebook, but it's going to go down in the books as a hit for McAdams, his second single on the night, a leadoff hit for the Diamond Hoppers, and a much-needed effort here as they're down 10 in the 6th.
Yeah, McAdams really got a hold of that one, and it's hard to give an air to shortstop Adrian Guzman there because of how hard that ball was hit. But a nice piece of hitting as Kraft drives one to the right side.
Kraft with the slow roller over to the right. It'll be enough to drive McAdams into scoring position at second base, but the 4-3 putout retires Kraft for the second time tonight. He struck out to end the first and reached on a single back in the 4th. We now bring up Cameron Coons, who's still looking for his first hit of this 2018 USPBL season.
Yeah, now Cameron Coons. Again, we talked about Coons being a younger guy, sitting at only, let's get Coons' age here, only 22 years old. So looking to make some noise in the USPBL.
As this ball getting away from the catcher, Chris Allen, no doubter for his counterpart, Josh McAdams, to get from second to third.
Well, it looks like McAdams rolled his ankle there, coming into third base, limping around now. Not sure if he's going to be okay. I know Paul Nochi's over there giving him a sign.
He looks to be okay for now. Only 90 feet to go for the big fella, so I'm sure he'll be able to stay in at least until he either scores or until this half inning is done. We'll see if he ends up going back out to catch for the Hoppers in the home or in the top half of the 7th. But now Coons looking at that breaking ball that did not officially break over the plate. Looked all right from up here, but stayed out of the zone according to home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz. Eric Thomas, the long set, the leg kick, the fastball down the heart of the plate. Coons with that 2-0 swing. Looked like he was trying to put that one in a gap or over the fence, but can't get anything out of it. A big swing and a miss, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah, Coons is really trying to do too much up there. I know he's still waiting for his first hit here in the USPBL, but you just got to stay back. You got to run around third, 1 out. Here's your opportunity to drive a run in.
As this ball missing as well, the count now 3-1. Little update from the Detroit Tigers game. Tigers down 3-2 in the top of the 5th, but Michael Fulmer already at 100 pitches. You know that he had that surgery in the offseason to repair that reconstructed elbow, but hasn't had the best season thus far. Obviously, the Tigers not with the best run-supporting team this season as they're in that rebuild mode, but Michael Fulmer, a name that gets tossed around in the trade talks in the MLB. Wonder how long he'll be in the Old English D for. But back to USPBL baseball here. Cameron Coons with the full count as he's ready for the pitch to be delivered by Thomas. This one missing inside. Coons reaches base for the second time, but still looking for his first hit. Reached on the fielder's choice in the 4th, and now with that walk to his credit now, runners on the corners for the Diamond Hoppers, and now Kevin Watley coming up to the plate, had that great defensive gem in that previous half inning.
Yeah, no, that was really great at bat there by Coons. I was talking about him trying to do too much up there, and he really settled down and worked the count full, and, you know, trying to sneak that pitch past him was Eric Thomas, but great at bat by Coons to wait on it and get a walk.
So now Kevin Watley looking for his second hit of the evening as he swings right through that fastball out of the hand of Eric Thomas. Watley singled, reached third back in the second inning, but did in fact swing and miss on a strikeout to end the 4th. Looking for a good opportunity for the Diamond Hoppers to get some runs put together, but that bender on the outside part of the plate won't help that situation at all.
Just
a really
snagged apart.
nice breaking ball from Eric Thomas.
Yeah, that pitch came in, and I wasn't too sure when he called it, but you watched it come in way off the plate, almost in that left-handed batter's box there. And finally finally caught that corner.
A lot of late breaking action. That's exactly what you want on your off-speed pitches at any type of level you're at. If you can have late break on any of your pitches, that is a recipe for success. Whatley has to protect on the 0-2, holds off as that fastball misses high and outside, probably a little bit higher than Eric Thomas would have liked. You try and get that 0-2 high fastball just above the strike zone and right around the hitter's eye to try and get him to chase, but Whatley doing a good job to hold off on that one. Runners on the corners, the 1-2 pitch, breaking ball. Home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz thought about it, but elects to hold off.
Wagenschutz gave a flinch there, but it looked good from this angle. But again, he's got the better angle than we do up here, Rich. So he laid off throwing the right hand up, but now 2-2 life here for Kevin Whatley.
Whatley staying alive, at least for now. Over at first base is Coons. McAdams over on third. The 2-2 pitch, Bender in the zone, and Whatley could not resist it. He was thinking fastball as he had sort of reacted a little late to that off-speed pitch, but another strikeout here on the board for the Unicorns, and we got 2 outs now.
Yeah, that was a classic situation there of, all right, he got me with the bender, might as well throw the bat at it to not go down with the backwards K, because there was no chance Whatley was getting a piece of that.
So 2 outs on the board now, an opportunity for Johnny Knight, the fourth, to come up in a big spot. Still a 10-run deficit here for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. That fastball missing just inside. Johnny Knight looked as if he was trying to get out of the way of that one, but I'll tell you what, that pitch was right along the fringe right there, that inside strike zone, but a nice job there for Johnny Knight to get out of the way, stay alive in this at-bat. There is an open base at second, but obviously Johnny Knight trying to find a gap out there to bring in 1, maybe 2 runs. 1-0, sort of the exact same pitch that we had just seen previously. Count now 2-0 on the batter, a good hitter's count. Johnny Knight looking for his second hit of the evening. Singled and came in to score back in the previous 5th.
And it really looks like Knight's crowding the plate up there. He's real close, and that might have stopped those first 2 pitches from being called strike.
The 2-0 lifted high on a line, but a little too early on that one was Johnny Knight. The count now going to 2-1.
Yeah, on that 2-0 count, he really jumped on that pitch there, and just a little out in front. But again, you got to be careful if you try to throw anything on that inside part of the plate, because Johnny Knight's looking to jump on it.
So Eric Thomas in this 2/3 inning of work so far. He's at 20 pitches, spread evenly down, 10 balls, 10 strikes here. The count 2-1 on the batter, Johnny Knight, the fourth, trying to drive in the man on third, Josh McAdams. The 2-1, Bender tried to get him through the back door, but Johnny Knight not allowing him in. Eric Thomas with that good try there, but will only get a ball to his credit. The count now moving to 3-1. You wonder if he'll maybe try and go back to that fastball.
Well, real great plate discipline here by Knight. Didn't want that outside bender.
A fastball, he sees it, and he drives it just to the left of the shortstop, Adrian Guzman. And the Diamond Hoppers, with their second run of the ball game, Johnny Knight had came in to score the first one, and now he drives in the second. A run and an RBI to his credit here tonight.
Yeah, you know, down 11-1, now 11-2 here for the Diamond Hoppers. Johnny Knight's really been a bright spot for the Hoppers, and like you said, scored the first run, then just drove that one in. A nice piece of hitting, drove it right back up through the center of the box. So something that Paul Nochi's got to be happy about.
So something Mr. Nochi is probably not happy about the night that he's seen out of Sebastian Diaz. An error out in the field and then a couple of ground outs, both over to that right side. Not really a lot of hard action off the bat of Sebastian Diaz as he looks at a called strike there on the inside part of the plate. But it would be a nice thing to see Sebastian Diaz have a positive here in this opening night. Obviously, the jitters probably playing a factor a little bit. First action of some professional baseball for the right-hander as this 0-1 pitch getting called a strike. It was right on that outside part of the plate. Could have probably went either way, but you got an 11-2 game. You got to protect in a situation like that. Of course, your team down by 9 runs, 2/3 of the way through this one. You're going to get strikes called on you if anything's close. The 0-2 bender, Sebastian Diaz staying alive in that one. That pitch probably a little too inside of the strike zone for Eric Thomas's liking, but Diaz couldn't do anything with it.
Well, of course, like you were saying, in this situation here, it's not like the umpires are out there, you know, giving calls to either side, but anything a little closer, they might call it a strike just to kind of get the game moving along. I know we're sitting at 9:14, about 2 hours and 10 minutes since first pitch, so the game's kind of sputtered along through the mid-innings.
as the 0-2 pitch misses inside there. The count now going to 1-2, but Eric Thomas allowing the second run of the night for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, but they're trying to add on at least 1, 2, maybe even 3 more, depending what happens with Sebastian Diaz here. He's got to protect the count 1-2. The bender in the zone. It gets hit over to the left side, and look at that. Adrian Guzman initially stops it, drops to his knees, loses it just a little bit, but ends up completing the play. The force out at second base retires Johnny Knight the fourth for the third and final out. But the Eastside Diamond Hoppers get their second run of the night. 1 run on 2 hits in that home half of the 6th inning. We head to the 7th. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Unicorns out in front by a score of 11-2. We'll be right back. So as you just heard my good friend John Grabb announce the new arm on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, let's introduce him. That is number 40, Alex Vargas, the 5'11", 185-pounder out of New York, New York. New arm on the mound for the Hoppers. How about we get a little inside scoop on what exactly he's going to be bringing to the plate here, Mr. Dakota Brecht?
Yeah, we've got tons of stuff on Vargas. He features 4 pitches. He's got the fastball, the curve, the slider, and the change like most pitchers do. The curveball is the get-me-out pitch for him. Fastball gets up to the 96, 97 range. And some fun facts here. He's actually a SoundCloud rapper on the side, and he went to the same high school as A Boogie with the hoodie. So some pretty interesting facts here for Vargas. Let's see if the great rapping skills I'm sure he has translates out onto the field, see if he can get these unis out.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if baseball doesn't in fact work out with them, clearly maybe the backup plan. You got the SoundCloud rapping, you got a connection with A Boogie with a hoodie. You never know.
Yeah, see, he's going places. You always got to have a backup plan, Rich. And I've always told everyone back home my backup plan is if this whole broadcasting thing doesn't work out, is I'm going to be a farmer. So
yeah,
got to have a backup plan. I live on a farm back home, so you gotta always have that backup plan. And for Alex Vargas, it's going to be a rapper with A Boogie with the hoodie.
Too funny, good stuff. So Justin Erlanderson now standing in for the Utica Unicorns. He gets things going in this top half of the 7th inning, sort of a unique thing. Erlanderson, the only hitter to not participate in the 3rd and the 6th inning. The Unicorns had batted almost through the lineup in both the 3rd and the 6th. 9 hitters up to the plate in both respective innings. Erlanderson, the only one to not bat in those innings. So a little unique fact right there.
You kind of feel bad for Erlanderson here. His team's out there having fun. Guys are hitting home runs. We've had 3 home runs for the Unicorns tonight, and he hasn't even hit in the most exciting innings where they sent out 8 batters. So let's see if he can have some fun and get out on the board for the Unicorns.
Yeah, as that one almost drills Erlanderson. He just gets out of the way of that one. Not the best of nights, as you mentioned. He's got 2 strikeouts already, a ground out over to third base, and last thing you want to see here for Erlanderson is to have to go back to that dugout, toss that sombrero on.
That would not be good, would it, Rich?
So the count 2-1 on Erlanderson. He hits a absolute moonshot, but that one about 30 to 40 feet wide out of this park, over towards the left field side, over the grandstands.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Vargas threw there, but Erlanderson was sitting on it and just jumped out a little early. If he could have kept that thing fair, he would have easily cleared the 315 fence out in left field.
So the count 2-2 on Erlanderson, trying to avoid his third strikeout of the night. Vargas with the windup, the pitch, and the slider going right underneath the bat of Erlanderson. The swing and the miss for the third strikeout of the night. And in fact, Erlanderson will have to do the unthinkable and toss that sombrero on, as that is his third strikeout of the night. You wonder maybe we'll see a pinch hitter later on if things get out of hand, but you got to imagine Unicorns up with a hefty 11-2 lead here in the seventh. Things are just going to probably cruise on out the rest of the way in this one.
Well, you know, you might see a couple guys get out and get off their feet for the night. Some of the veterans, maybe like Lalio or any of the other guys out there, but at this point, you're just trying to get through the later half innings. You're up 11-2, and so they're just going to try to get some work in for some of the guys.
So the first pitch to Dan Ward is a ball that misses outside. Ward with a good night at the plate, a home run and a walk to his credit. An RBI, of course, on that home run and 2 runs scored. He has struck out looking and grounded out to first base as well as he swings and misses that pitch. The count even now at 1-1.
Vargas is really throwing some gas out there. We mentioned earlier that he could get that fastball up 96, 97, but you really hear it pop in the glove of McAdams. So something Ward couldn't catch up to. You know what kind of power Ward can distribute out around this field.
The Cleveland, Ohio native ready for the 1-1. That one missing high and inside. Speaking of Cleveland, a little bit of NBA basketball action happening in this world. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers moving on in the Eastern Conference Finals and facing off against the Boston Celtics. That should be an entertaining series. Unfortunately, Kyrie Irving, of course, not being a part of that. That would have been fun to watch. But Dan Ward with a ground ball hard to the left side, just getting past Gunnar Buhner over there at third. Ward with his second hit of the night, and he has reached base in 3 of his 5 plate appearances.
Yeah, they're going to give Ward a hit on that one, but if you're the third baseman, Gunnar Buhner, you got to make that play. I mean, it was a high hopper, and Buhner just kind of read it wrong. So again, they're going to put it down as a hit of how hard that ball was hit off the bat of Ward. But if I'm the third baseman, Buhner, I'm going to be kicking myself after that one.
So now Jimmy Latona standing in for the Utica Unicorns. Runner on first is Dan Ward. Latona on the night. Home run to his credit, a couple of walks, did strike out swinging back in the previous 6th inning. Looks at strike 1 to begin this at bat. Ward over there on first base, not a ton of speed, and you got to imagine with a 9-run difference, he's probably not going to be going anywhere. So Latona with an opportunity to try and drive a ball into a gap. The 0-1 swung on and missed on the fastball.
Yeah, the first baseman, Cameron Coons, isn't even holding Ward at this point. I mean, if Ward really wanted to take off, I'm sure he would have no issue getting over to second base. But up by 9 runs, I'm sure he's not too concerned about sneaking off to second base here. And I know the Diamond Hoppers would not be too happy about that.
So Latona will have to protect here. The 0-2 offer from Alex Vargas. The leg kick, the pitch. Curveball missing low in the dirt. Good stop there from Josh McAdams to keep the runner at bay.
Yeah, Latona having a nice day already. Only not getting on base in his last plate appearance. He had that 2 walks and the home run. Struck out his last time up. And that was off of Gillespie.
Vargas sets, delivers, and sitting on that off-speed pitch was Latona, but just not enough as that one gets lined down that left field line, just foul. So we'll do the 1-2 all over again.
Yeah, Vargas was really taking his time on that one. I don't know if he was concerned about the runner Ward, which I don't think is the case here, but you know, sometimes you get a guy like Latona up to the plate, sitting on that pitch just a little early, and he's trying to mix things up at the last second.
Ward at first, hands on the knees. He's not going anywhere as the first baseman, Cameron Coons, is playing back as a defensive shift to make sure that if a ground ball's hit his way, he's got time to react to it. Perfect scenario for the Hoppers to come out of this one would be a hard ground ball that could turn into 2 outs here. Latona, not slow, not, you know, he hasn't shown crazy speed here yet for us up in the booth, but an opportunity for the Hoppers to do some damage defensively if he can get a ground ball. This time, instead, a high fly ball out to right. John Kraft running down this one. He had not stopped from the time that he had started his jolt all the way until the ball reached his mitt. A nice rundown by number 24 out of Nutley, New Jersey. 2 outs now, or excuse me, 2 outs now here in this top of the 7th.
You could definitely see the respect that Kraft and the rest of the outfield was playing for Latona there after he drilled that one out in the 3rd inning, I believe, to left center field. Kraft had to run a long ways for what looked like a routine fly ball.
Got to think of a couple of the positives if you're the Diamond Hoppers here in this game. Clearly down 11-2 in this one. You take any good play you can get at this point. Just work on the game, work on your craft, I should say. And Johnny Kraft, of course, doing a good job implementing that.
Oh, you got me there, Rich. I didn't even think about it. It took me a few seconds. Throwing puns in left and right.
No, just right.
Yeah, as you can tell, our play-by-play announcer, Rich Borland, isn't mid-season form already.
I tried. Ibarra down in the count here, 0-1. Fights off a pitch. It looks like it might be enough to drop, and in fact it will. Not enough for Kevin Watley or Gabe Gunter, the shortstop and left fielder. Ball hit directly in between them. So a nice spot there for Spencer Ibarra to get a single. That's his 2nd of the night. And he's now over there at first. Dan Ward over at 2nd. Still 2 outs on the board here for the Diamond Hoppers. And Chris Allen, the man who has yet to have been retired, reached...
Made some noise already tonight. Had that 2-run triple in his last plate appearance, and this is actually the 3rd straight inning where he will be coming up to the plate. So Chris Allen getting some work in the middle innings.
I'll tell you what, between Chris Allen and Dan Ward, it's going to be tough to pick the stick tonight. Maybe this at-bat could potentially decide it. Dan Ward with the home run, the 2 runs scored, the single to his credit, but he did strike out looking back in the 4th. And then Chris Allen reached on a single, came in to score in the 2nd, reached on a walk, came in to score in the 3rd. Did reach on an error back in the 5th, but then had that 2 RBI triple in the previous 6th inning. This could potentially decide it as the 1-0 is lofted high. The first baseman over there, Cameron Coons, ranging as far as he could to that baseball, but that one just getting away from him, one hopping out of the diamond.
Yeah, as you could tell, with all that space down to the right-hand side, I don't know where it cuts off on our YouTube broadcast here, but that ball almost went over and hit our handler for our great bat dog, JJ, the field general. So got to watch out down that right field side. You don't know when the ball's coming.
I bet you JJ's ready, though.
Oh, JJ's always ready.
The count 1-1 on Chris Allen. Trying to drive in a run, some insurance for the Utica Unicorns. That slide piece looked pretty good from up here, but in the eyes of Gary Wagenschutz, the home plate umpire, looked to be just a bit low. So now the count favorable for the batter, Chris Allen. It's 2-1.
Great hitter's count here for Allen. He's going to be looking to drive something on the left-hand side. Vargas should try to keep it on the outside part of the plate, see if he can roll his hands over.
The count, 2-1. The pitch, hit, foul. It looks like it's going to reach a fan in the grandstand seats. Hops a couple of over and actually falls out of the grandstand. So a couple of kids chasing after that one. Somebody gets a lucky souvenir here.
Well, lots of souvenirs flying out this evening. Seen balls going left and right all over the place, and I'm sure these fans out here are having a great time. Definitely looking at least over 1,000 people here in the grandstand, so it's a good sight to see, especially on this chilly Saturday night here in Utica.
The count 2-2. The pitch, Allen looks at it, the slider just sliding out of the strike zone there. And we will have a payoff pitch ensuing here. Runners both on first and second will be moving here as the count is full. Let's see what Chris Allen can do.
Ward just edging off second. Probably not going to be in too much of a hurry to get going, but definitely will be gone.
Payoff pitch, outside corner. It looks as if Chris Allen goes down looking. He had a possible check swing, and on the 23rd pitch of the outing, ends up getting him looking. So Chris Allen cannot keep his night perfect by reaching base in all of his at-bats. He goes down via the look there for the 3rd and final out. Unicorns can't get a run there in the top of the 7th, but it's stretch time here at Jimmy John's Field. We'll take a quick break and be right back with you. It's 11-2 Unicorns. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Go home and take a stretch. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Home half of the 7th underway. Eric Thomas's night is done after just one inning of work. He gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk to his credit. He gives way to Tyler Schwanz, who faces off against Cody Russelli. The second pitch of the at-bat, Russelli hits a ground ball over to the left side where Adrian Guzman makes the play.
Guzman making some plays tonight, Rich.
Yeah, the first out for the Utica Unicorns. And you know what? As I say that, it looks as if A.J. Reynolds is actually in for Guzman. That's number 3 over there at shortstop now. So that is something we will keep track of here, as A.J. Reynolds now defensively in for Guzman at shortstop.
A nice catch there, Rich. I didn't see that.
So Reynolds recording out number 1 to retire Cody Russelli, the 6-3 putout. And now Gabe Gunther will stand in. He looks at the first pitch he sees, and that one's called a strike. And then the second one, he offers at it, but fouls it right off of his ankle. He's quickly down in the count here, 0-2.
Just moments ago, you saw a third baseman for the Utica Unicorns, Carter Grote, hopping up and down right around third base. Starting to get chilly here at the ballpark. I'm not sure what the exact temperature is, but I'm sure it's starting to dip down into the upper 40s. His first pitch, starting temperature was 54 degrees.
So Tyler Schwanz he went to Maine in college. He was actually originally an outfielder, and in 2017 he appeared in all 54 games for Maine, hit .284 with 59 hits, and look at that, a strikeout looking, gets Gabe Gunther. Gunther had a single so far in this one, but now 1 for 4 on the night as he gets retired via the backwards K. But back to Mr. Schwanz. Schwanz in that 2017 season with the Maine Bears, he had, let's see here, a .284 average with 59 hits in 54 games, while knocking in a team-high 38 runs, and he had scored 37 on his own. So Mr. Schwan's a little bit of an all-around player. He can do it at the plate. He can do it on the mound. We'll keep track and see if he will do more than just pitch for the Utica Unicorns here. Obviously, college pitching a little bit different here than in the USPBL. I'm not sure if his hitting would translate to talent up here, but obviously the pitching has.
Well, it's the second guy we've talked about today that's been a two-way player back in college. If you remember from earlier on, Eastside Diamond Hopper starter Devin Alexander was a two-way player in college, and it wasn't until he got to Jimmy John's Field where they transitioned him into this pitcher, and it looks like they've done the same with Tyler Schwanz. And you know what I really think that is you get these guys that come in, and whoever it is, if it's Justin or Ray Ortega, whoever's really running things front of house, they see that. They see the arm these guys got when it comes in and they're in tryouts and all that stuff, and they say, hey, these arms can be transitioned into a better role. And that's where they come in as pitchers. And, it doesn't matter what their bat does. There's always going to be an opportunity throughout the minor league systems for that guy to hit.
So Schwan's quickly working here. The 3-2 pitch fouled off into our protective netting. Dakota, I know you were ready for that one, open window, but that net won't let anything get back in our press box here this year.
No, don't you worry, Rich. I got a camera in front of me here, but we're definitely going to get a couple foul balls back. I'm going to have to bring my glove next time around.
And as you say that, Gunnar Buhner gets rung up on that slider, started inside and then eventually carried over the plate as it was crossing it. Back-to-back strikeouts via the look for the man on the mound, Tyler Schwanz. A 1-2-3 inning for the Unicorns in the bottom half of the 7th. We head to the top of the 8th. Unis lead it 11-2 over the Hoppers. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We head to the top of the 8th inning. Utica Unicorns fully out front, 11-2 over the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Alex Vargas' night is done. He threw just the 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 2 Ks to his credit. He now gives way to number 14, Tori DeShazier. And DeShazier, the first opportunity he sees over to Dylan Sprague, misses inside.
Yeah, Tori DeShazier, he was a guy that was actually signed with the Royals organization, played for 4.5 years in their organization. He's got a 3-pitch arsenal like most relief pitchers do. He's got the fastball, the curve, and the change. His go-to pitch is the curveball, but he says it moves more like a slider. And I had the opportunity to talk to DeShazier this morning in the clubhouse, and he was definitely lighthearted then, was ready to get out on the field and messing around with some of the other guys in there. So, you know, he's in already in midseason form and ready to be out here playing some ball.
Not as ready as you might think as that shoe gets untied there. He ties it back up, and he's all ready to go here now. The count 2-1 on Dylan Sprague. Infield, outfield. Well, I should say infield at normal depth. We have the center fielder, Johnny Knight, the 4th, playing a little shallow out there in center. But this one making its way over to Kevin Watley at shortstop. Dylan Sprague gets retired for the 3rd time here tonight. He had reached on 2 consecutive walks in his first 2 plate appearances, but a couple of groundouts and a strikeout to his credit since then. 1 up, 1 down here for the Unicorns in the top half of the 8th.
You know, with Lolio stepping to the plate, had that home run earlier. And Lolio is just one of those guys that, you know, we've had the opportunity to talk earlier before the broadcast about Lolio and how he's just going to come up there. He's going to hit a couple home runs every couple of games there, and that's about it for him. You know, he's been around the league for a little bit and looking to break out, but definitely a fan favorite here at Utica.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where doesn't necessarily make contact all the time, but when he does, it's definitely big flies. You saw it here this evening and in that last at-bat with that 2-run homer for the DH here. The count 1-1 on the left-hander. This one bending just underneath the strike zone as the count goes to 2-1 on the lefty.
Yeah, the home run Lolio had earlier was, you know, we don't have the exact flight scope metrics yet, but it had to be well over 395 feet because that's our center field wall, and he hit it about 30 feet right of it to right center. So definitely got some serious power for Lolio.
And now a good hitter's count for the left-hander. Keep an eye out here. If you're Tori DeShazier, you want to be careful. Don't leave anything up and too far out into that zone, as this fastball enough outside where Lolio couldn't get full, complete great contact on that one. He fouls this one off to the left side. It stays in play, but the count now full.
And the payoff pitch coming for DeShazier. You got to see what he's going to throw here. Lolio was just behind that one, foul off to the left-hand side, but he put good wood on it, and you know, he's got to be careful with the powerful Lolio.
This ball hit on a line drive out into left center field. Chasing after it is Johnny Knight, the 4th. Bobbles it one time. Lolio not thinking about slowing down, going into second base and sliding in head first with ease is Lolio. Back-to-back hits for that young man, and he has found light in that bat there. Unicorns just continuing to manage at the plate with the bats. A nice job there from Lolio.
Yeah, like I was saying just before that pitch, got to be careful with Lolio. He threw one in and just a little bit behind it, but drove it in the left center field gap, and he was out of the batter's box. He was thinking double. He got there sliding head first. If the ball wasn't bobbled out in center field by Bobby Knight, the 4th, there might have been a chance there for a play at second.
So we mentioned A.J. Reynolds had came in this one for Adrian Guzman. So Guzman's night officially done. He had only grounded out to second twice and was hit by those 2 pitches. So not the best night for Guzman, but the only good thing about that, you can only do better the next time out. So A.J. Reynolds now stands in his first plate appearance of the 2018 season. Looks at a called strike to begin this at-bat.
Reynolds, another guy with the open stance. Bat cocked high over the head. He's got a waving back there, but took a big hack of that first pitch as he watches the second one go by for a called strike.
Yeah, great pitch right there on the outside part of the plate. Just framing it well enough was Josh McAdams to get the call from the home plate umpire. And now A.J. Reynolds has quite a pick to choose here. The count 0-2 and sliding, just getting underneath the glove of Josh McAdams. Again, another tough night there. Not sure if it made contact with the dirt or not, so we'll see how that one gets ruled, whether it's a wild pitch or a pass ball. Either way, nothing going good here for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in take 1 of this 2018 season for them.
You know, McAdams has struggled all night long, and I think he got tied up there. I don't know if he was looking for the fastball or not. I know it's definitely hard to adjust, especially hard to adjust from when you're looking for a breaking ball and you get the fastball, but looks like he just tipped off his glove. I think it's going to go down as another pass ball for McAdams.
A nice pitch right there from the man on the mound. That one just getting enough of that outside corner. Nice job there by DeShazier to retire A.J. Reynolds in his first plate appearance. And now we go back to the top of the order where Carter Grote will get his 5th plate appearance of the night. Excuse me, that would be his 6th. So a lot of at-bats here for the Unicorns in this opening night.
Yeah, really working around the lineup. As you were saying 5, I was like, wait, we got 6. And just in the 8th inning, you never know. They get a couple more runs on the plate. You could see 7.
Hard ground ball over to that left side. Kevin Watley with the routine throw to first base to retire Carter Grote. 4 up, 3 down. That double from Lolio tried to give the Unicorns another run there, but it looks like they'll be all right. Just a little bit more left in this one. We're halfway through the 8th. Hoppers coming up to the plate. They will have 4, 5, 6 coming up. McAdams, Kraft, and Coons. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we head to this home half of the 8th inning. Utica Unicorns out in front 11-2 over the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Tyler Schwann's night is done. A perfect inning for him. Just the 1 inning of work. Had 2 strikeouts and a ground out to his credit on just 11 pitches. He now gives way to the left-hander Michael Scamonico. Scamonico's first batter he will face is Josh McAdams. He throws a fastball on the outer part of the plate for a called strike. So good start for the left-hander out of Dumont, New Jersey. That pitch just missing the zone, evens the count up at 1-1. Scamonico last season for the Unicorns pitched in just 5 games, 5.1 innings pitched, didn't have a win or a loss to his credit, gave up 5 hits in those 5.1 innings, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, a 3.38 ERA. So a small scale, but good numbers thus far for Scamonico in his USPBL career. He's got the count 1-2 in his favor against McAdams, who had 2 singles and a ground out to his credit so far tonight. And the backdoor breaker absolutely diminishing Josh McAdams. He goes down via the backwards K. Nice start there for Scamonico.
You know, Scamonico, just watching him here in that first batter he faced, McAdams, he's got a weird delivery. He gets right up on the mound real quick, like he wants to get going, and then he has a hesitation, almost like those the Japanese pitchers have always brought over. He's got that little hesitation up top. It could be deceiving for the batters up there. You know, it's hard to tell from up here, but you know, he'll quick pitch him sometimes too, like he just did there. So obviously very deceiving, and he had McAdams all tied up.
It's one of the most crucial aspects of being a pitcher on the mound. Some guys can do it, others cannot, and Skamonico is going to be able to use that all season long to just thwart away opposing hitters and not allow them to do much with the pitches that he brings to home plate. The count is 1-0 on John Kraft. That pitch swung on and missed right through it. Was the left-hander. Kraft on the night, struck out swinging to end the first, reached on a single, but was thrown out at second, back in the fourth, and then grounded out to second base in that sixth inning. As Kraft follows this one off, but Skamonico and Kraft facing off here, a couple of New Jersey natives, so a little battle of
the jerseys.
The jerseys,
how about that?
The jersey battle.
John Kraft is definitely a fan favorite here. I know we touched on this tonight, but he's one of those guys that's been around for a while, likes to fight up there as he fouls that one off. And out in right field, it's kind of found a home out there for the Diamond Hoppers.
So the count 1-2 on the batter, John Kraft. Diamond Hoppers trailing this one 11-2. Unicorns got a run in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the third, 4 more in the sixth. Hoppers with 1 in both the fifth and sixth innings, but just overall a great day for the Unicorns as Kraft chases after one. Back-to-back strikeouts for Michael Skamonico. And I'll tell you what, Skamonico, even though this game is 11-2 here in this eighth inning, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in this setup role. Clearly not a setup opportunity as there's no save going to be shown here tonight, but getting used to that situation, coming out on the mound, getting your pitches in against live hitting in a game situation. Obviously, manager Jim Essien doing a good job to keep his guys on their toes here as Cameron Coons now steps in, looks at a fastball that got away from Skamonico.
Well, as you're saying, in the situation standpoint, especially with Skamonico, they're up by 9 runs right now, but you get him out in the eighth inning. He's comfortable. Could possibly strike out the side here. You get him out in the eighth inning, get him comfortable in the eighth inning. And then when he comes out in a crucial role, when you're only up by 1 or 2 runs or you're trailing by a run or two, he's going to feel comfortable doing this. He's going to feel comfortable coming out later in the game. He's going to know how much time he has to warm up. He's not going to be thrown in any crazy situations. So it's nice to get warmed up like that.
Yeah, confidence is key out there on the mound, and he's doing a great job so far. Just 1 pitch away from striking out the side. Let's see if he can complete it here. Diamond Hoppers, just a perfect example of how their night has gone offensively this inning right here. The 1-2 pitch, the little hitch right there from Skamonico, who's trying to mix it up and just deceive some of these Hoppers hitters, but obviously that one getting away from him there kind of messed with his rhythm. You see guys like Johnny Cueto, guys like Clayton Kershaw, of course, with that little pause in the drop step there on the delivery, and it's working well so far for Skamonico. It just got away from him on that last one there. The 2-2 pitch, backdoor breaker, and you better believe it, Cameron Coons is mad at himself. He knew it was coming. He just knew a little bit later than he would have liked as that one goes down in the books. And the man on the mound, Skamonico, striking out the side. 2 looking, 1 swinging in between them. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Unicorn staff. Thomas and Schwann's doing a good job in their respective innings. We head to the final inning here at Jimmy John's Field. We'll be right back. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the top of the 9th inning we go. Torrey DeShazier's night is done. Just the 1 inning of work. Had given up the double, but nothing more. And now he gives way to Keaton Aldridge, one of the, what I assume to be fan favorites, a man out of Birmingham, Michigan. Let's hear a little bit more on what Keaton Aldridge has to bring to the plate.
Well, Keaton Aldridge, first of all, he's out of Birmingham, Michigan, 25 years old, drafted in the 40th round to the Milwaukee Brewers organization. Appeared in 26.1 innings over the past 2 years and a half. Had a 2-2 record, 7.52 ERA. New guy to the league this year. He has a 3-pitch arsenal, the fastball, a cutter, and a changeup. Likes to get the fastball up around 95, 96. Got some serious velocity to it. Gets the ground ball outs with the cutter. So, you know, he's going to be out there when it comes to a double play option, you know, late in the game when you get a runner on and you need a double play. He's going to be that guy that you throw out there because those cutters are always hit on the ground.
The 0-1 to Erlanderson missing just low, and I'll tell you what, that was probably the main reason that I actually got an opportunity to pitch in college. Being a left-hander, the cutter was my go-to pitch, and that was quite a making for ground ball at bats. Not getting, you know, if good contact was made, it was foul. And, yeah, that cutter can do a lot of damage. But speaking of a lot of damage, Erlanderson driving this ball to the opposite field in the right center gap. He's on his horse. He's rounding second base, heading for third, and it looks like it'll be a close play. And, in fact, he'll actually get in standing up. But what a job by Keaton Aldridge to play his position and back up that throw. That one had gotten away from the third baseman, Gunnar Buhner. A wild throw there by the cutoff man over at second base, Sebastian Diaz. But nice job of Keaton Aldridge. You give up a giant hit here in the first plate appearance you see of the season. You ought to imagine what's going through his mind. You know, you could be completely rattled, but he does exactly what he's supposed to do, get to his position to back it up, and look at that. You got to imagine Paul Noce and company definitely noticed that. You're down 11-2 in this game. You're not thinking correctly. It's the 9th inning. You're down by 9 runs, but Keaton Aldridge, in his time of need, does his job after giving up that big double.
Fantastic job by Aldridge there. And unfortunately, our camera couldn't catch the edge of where Aldridge was actually standing, but he's about 10, 15 feet back from third base. This one driven to center field. It's going to burn him out there. That's going to score the run.
And look at that. Dan Ward showing his power as he has so far throughout this night. He's got a single, a home run, and now a double to his credit. Just a triple short of the cycle he will be here tonight. Got to imagine that might be our pick to stick with that hit right there.
Yeah, that's definitely going to do it there. Serious power by Ward. I'm really confused at what center fielder Johnny Knight was doing playing so shallow. I mean, usually with the righty up at the plate, I mean, depends on what you see and logistic-wise, but you're going to stand straight up out in the outfield. They might tend to shade a little bit to the right side, you know, depending, and especially with a guy like Aldridge on the mound who can get that fastball up in the 96 range. So not really sure what Knight was doing out there. Oh, that one beams him.
That is a tough one for Jimmy Latona. Latona had a good start to his night with 2 walks and a home run through his first 3 plate appearances, but a strikeout and a flyout to right have slowed him down just a little bit, but he reaches safely there with that hit by pitch. Runners now at first and second for the Unicorns, and still nobody out here in this top of the 9th inning. The struggles continue for the Hoppers all the way throughout this one.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you give more than 10 runs, it's an issue for your pitching staff, and I'm sure Paul Noce's not very happy about that. But you got to look at it. You had a couple stretches in the mid-innings where you didn't give up any runs. Scraped over a couple runs tonight, so something they're going to have to build on. They got to get back out there tomorrow morning. I'm sure it's going to be a bright and early morning for these guys. They're not going to get out here till, you know, 10:30, 11 o'clock this evening. So something you just got to jump back the next day and go out and play.
The new batter in the batter's box on the left side is Spencer Ibarra. Ibarra looks at a called strike to begin this at-bat. Ibarra, with already 5 plate appearances on the evening, popped out to second base once, reached and came in to score on a single in the 3rd, grounded out to first base to end the 4th inning. He hits a high fly ball. That'll get out of play to bring the count to 0-2. Ibarra is going to have to protect here on this one, but reached on an error and came in to score in the 6th and had that single but nothing more in the 7th inning. Sort of all over the place is Ibarra. A good all-around baseball player, good defense, good offense, decent speed. He's improved over his time here with the USPBL, and pending how things go, he might not be here all that long out of Fort Collins, Colorado.
That's one of those things you look at, and You know, when we say he might not be here that long, it's you know, hopefully a good thing as he gets rung up there on the 0-2 count.
Yeah, a much-needed strikeout there for Keaton Aldridge, first out of this 9th inning. Runners still on first and second, but like we mentioned, Erlanderson came in to score already here to bring the run lead to 10 now for this Utica team. And now standing in looks to be a pinch hitter, Brandon Larkin Guilfoyle, the infielder out of Steamwood, Illinois, gets his first plate appearance of the 2018 USPBL season. He is pinch hitting now for Chris Allen.
A little confusion here on the scoreboard of who was up out at the plate for the Utica Unicorns. Looks like they're trying to fix that right here as they had number 22 was up at the plate, and like you said, that is Brandon Larkin Guilfoyle. And they had number 17, Gio Abreu, up on the board.
Yeah, you know, it's the first weekend kinks here. You know,
Yeah.
knock them out as we can, get them done early, both up here in the broadcast booth. But things have been pretty smooth sailing so
Yeah.
far. But
Have
like
a nice night, Rich.
it's been fun, Dakota, in your first full baseball game.
Yeah, like I said yesterday, I kind of begging for baseball. I've been itching to get up here for a full game, and it's been an interesting one, that's for sure.
Been having some fun here. Wish the game was maybe a little bit closer, but either way, we've definitely seen our action throughout this one. As the count now 3-0 on the batter, number 22, Mr. Larkin Guilfoyle. It's going to be a fun one to pronounce throughout the season with that hyphenated name. Maybe a reason it took a little longer to get put back up on that scoreboard. Make sure all
There it
that
is.
spelling is correct.
Exactly. It's one of those things where, you know, we're still working on those names. I know we ran through the starting lineups before the game to make sure we had them, but didn't really check the extras coming off the bench because we, you know, no one expected this 12-2 blowout tonight.
So Brandon takes called strike 2 here. The count now full on the batter. Runners on first and second are Ward and Latona.
I don't expect them to be on the move here, especially with Ward not having much speed at second, and with the lefty up at the plate, it makes it an easier throw for catcher Josh McAdams.
Yeah, the only negative thing that you could see here if the runners decided not to go would be a hard ground ball that could lead to 2 outs for the Diamond Hoppers, as Aldridge gives a small look over there to Ward at second, but brings it back home. Unfortunately, it looked as if maybe that concentration was focused a little bit too much on Ward, as that ball misses the strike zone as well. And now the bases are loaded here as we have Dylan Sprague coming up to the plate.
Sprague with the bases loaded, you know, he has the opportunity to jump on one here and not really needing the insurance going into the bottom half of the 9th, but be a fun chance for him to drive a couple runs in for his Utica Unicorns.
Sprague on the night walked in his first 2 plate appearances, came around to score in the second, but since then a couple of groundouts and a strikeout to his credit. Unicorns, of course, with the 10-run lead, but from a competition standpoint, obviously you still want to keep the stats going and keep your team on a high, as this ball stopped but got away from the catcher Josh McAdams a little bit, but not enough to let a run come in to score. Nice job of keeping track of that one.
Yeah, McAdams, again, has just struggled all night long, and it's really not pitches that have been in the dirt or, you know, been too crazy outside of the zone. He's just struggled to close the mitt, and again, he was an outfielder before he got to the USPBL, and it was one of the things that Justin Orndorff looked at and said, hey, this guy's got a great arm. Let's see if he can get back there and block some pitches, and over spring training did an all right job. So they're giving him a chance behind the plate, but I know this is his first game of the season, but if these struggles continue, you might not find him there for long.
So bases loaded. Keaton Aldridge trying to limit the damage here with the 2-0 count. The man out of Birmingham, Michigan, having some early struggles here in this 2018 season, but comes right back with the fastball that Sprague swings right through. So good sign there for the right-hander to get back into this count and make it competitive. Don't want to see a count go to 3-0 with bases loaded. Can't imagine the amount of nerves that would be running through the veins of the man on the mound there, but a good job to fight back. Let's see if he can keep it going here. The 2-1 offer, fastball, excuse me, not a fastball, that's a curveball in the dirt. That one being held off by Sprague, and Sprague now just one pitch away from bringing in an RBI the easiest way possible.
Well, if you're Sprague right here, I mean, up by 10 runs, I'm sure he's going to be swinging at this pitch. I mean, you don't want to walk in a run if you're Aldridge, especially down by so many. So I think Sprague's going to be reaching for the fences here.
Good cut there is that ball. Fastball inside. Sprague just didn't get the good part of the wood on that one as Aldridge continues to fight back in this count.
You're probably still going to see something, in the zone towards the center of the plate here because Aldridge doesn't want to walk in a run like we've been talking about. So if you're Sprague, make sure it's there. But I'd be openly swinging here if I'm Sprague.
Yeah, if this game was closer, say it was 3-2 or something like that, you wouldn't want to make sure that it was 2 over the plate. But in a situation like this, you just want to, the last thing you want is for the ball to miss the zone. This ball hit down that left field line, and a great job by Gabe Gunter to track that one down. Good defense from some of these outfielders for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. That one recorded by Gunter for the second out, but look who's coming up.
And Nico Lolio already had that 2-run shot earlier in the game, but that was back in the 6th inning, I believe. So what you're going to see here by Lolio, he's obviously got the fans up on their feet. Fans that have stuck around. I mean, when you get in a blowout like this and you have temps in the mid-40s for baseball weather, it's tough for fans to stick around, but still a decent crowd out there, and excited to see Lolio come up to the plate with the bases juiced.
Some of our USPBL diehards staying and awaiting the finish of this one. Unicorns out front by 10. Lolio could break it open that much more with the bases loaded here. 2 outs. Lolio looks at a called strike. Fastball down the heart of the plate. He must have been looking for something different there, or was maybe trying to force Keaton Aldridge to throw him some pitches. But Lolio down in the count here, 0-1, ready for the delivery from Aldridge. The kick, the push, the fastball missing outside, evens the count up at 1-1.
Yeah, right here, Lolio at a 1-1 count. He's probably sitting on the fastball still. Once you get down in the hole 1-2 or, whatever this account gets to is when you're going to kind of look for that off-speed pitch. But I'd watch for the cutter or the fastball here out of the hands of Aldridge.
1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. This one in the dirt, though. Lolio not happy with himself, but in the end, it's going to be a positive one for the Unicorns. This one in the dirt. Lolio clearly swinging at something that he had no chance at making contact with, but maybe the fact that he had swung at that one, it had distracted the catcher, Josh McAdams, in due time. That one got away from him, so everybody moves up 90 feet. Ward comes in to score. Latona goes over to third, and number 22, that is Brandon Larkin Gufoyle, makes it to second base. So open bag over there at first now, but runners on second and third.
And he completely had me fooled there. As I was saying, he's probably not going to throw the off-speed pitch. He came back with it. So had Lolio fooled, had me fooled. Let's see what he does here, 1-2.
Lolio sees the fastball high and in, thought about going after it, but elects to hold off on it just enough. And I'll tell you what, there's definitely a reason that we're up here instead of down there.
Down on the field.
Yeah, it can be tough. This game is great, but it's definitely one of the hardest sports, in my opinion, the hardest sport behind golf, as far as a success standpoint.
Yeah, with success, and it's definitely mental. I just hope that our director of baseball ops, Justin Orndorff, didn't hear me next door, because I don't want to be getting a bad rep on me for calling that pitch wrong.
But the count now full. The base is open, so Latona and Mr. Larkin will not be moving on this pitch, but Lolio with an opportunity to drive in a couple more runs. 2 ducks out there on the pond for the Unicorns. Let's see if Lolio can do anything with it, and instead he looks at ball 4. That 2-seamer just sailing out of the strike zone. So now bases are juiced up here for the number 9 hitter is A.J. Reynolds. He had pinch hit for Adrian Guzman back in the previous 8th inning, but struck out swinging on a 1-2 count. A whole lot bigger and better opportunity now for Reynolds.
And, just a little side note here. I haven't noticed anyone down in the Unicorns bullpen after that great last half inning by Scamonico. I think they might go back with him for the bottom half of the 9th.
And no sense in wasting an extra arm. I mean, you don't have a game to play tomorrow, but I see both ways. I see why you want to keep Scamonico out there from a confidence and mental standpoint to keep him working on his stuff. And in a game where it's mid-40s now, it's tough for guys to get loose after being sitting during this entire game.
Yeah.
And it would make sense to keep the loose arm that's had success. I mean, he struck out the entire side in the 8th inning, so no sense in bringing anybody else out there, at least for now.
Well, exactly. You don't want to fix what's not broken, as I always say. So with Skamonico striking out the side in the 8th, might as well roll with him.
No doubt about that, Dakota. The count 0-1 on A.J. Reynolds. That ball swung on right through. It looked as if Reynolds was thinking about holding off on it, but then elected to swing at that pitch at the last second. Not any good contact. That one fouling off both the bat and the catcher there.
We've seen that a lot today. You saw it earlier with Kraft. It actually generated it into a base hit for him. But, again, in this developmental league, plate discipline is one of the things they're really working on. So I think that's what they're, you've seen it already. A lot of check swings, a lot of, hesitations out there. So it's going to be a thing that they work on.
The 0-2 pitch from Aldridge is hit. A one-hopper over to that second baseman, Sebastian Diaz. He elects to make the smart decision, go with the easy out to retire Lolio at second base for the force out. But the Unicorns get another couple of runs on the board and lead this one now 13-2 as we are heading to our final frame in this home half of the 9th. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jesse Stinnett now pitching for the Utica Unicorns in this final frame. Stinnett, the right-hander out of Madison Heights, not Michigan, but Virginia. 225-pounder, 6'4", facing off against Kevin Watley here. Starts off Watley with a fastball for a strike, and then Watley holds off on another one to even the count up at 1-1.
Yeah, Watley up there kind of looked hesitant on his second swing there, but looks like he held back that one again. Just went a little too far, but ugly-looking swings here by Watley.
Clearly, Jesse Stinnett has some stuff, breaking action, deceptiveness, and it's been a tough at-bat here so far for Kevin Watley.
I know that was one of the toughest things that I had to face when I was in high school is, all these other guys, there'd be a new pitcher come to the plate, come to the mound, and you obviously see that much more, especially in a game like this, but I was always the guy that was at the edge of the fence looking to see what this guy could throw because I wanted to have the best possible as Watley goes down swinging here to make the first out of the inning. I wanted the best possible scenario for me up at the plate, so that's why I'd always pay attention to the guy's warm-up pitches. It doesn't matter if you just threw a fastball every single time, and when you came up and you knew you were going to be able to hit that guy, always made me feel a lot more comfortable. Well, it's been quite the impressive stretch of strikeouts for the Unicorns. That marks their 6th straight strikeout. How about that? 2 in the 7th, struck out the side in the 8th, and then to start off the 9th, a strikeout to Kevin Watley.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Cody Brown, the starter that went 4 innings, gave up just 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks. Will Marshall had an inning of work, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run. Eric Thomas, as that pitch to John Knight the 4th, misses his own, evens it up at 1-1. Just an overall really good showing from this Utica Unicorn staff. It's definitely been the bright spot of this ball game. As I say that, Johnny Knight with the comebacker to the man on the mound, Jesse Stinnett, but he reacts to it, fields his position, makes the throw to first with ease, and no strikeout, but a batter retired here for out number 2, and just like that, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers are down to their final out, and it looks as if we will be getting a pinch hitter here. Looks to be number 12, Chris Mangus. Chris Mangus, a right-handed batter, another hometown product. This guy out of Niles, Michigan. This guy a little bit bigger than most, 6 foot, but 240 pounds. So some weight behind that bat. Let's see if he can use it.
Lots of power, Rich. And coming from a bigger guy in myself, you know, I used that a little bit back in my days.
just give it time until you're done with college and see how big you really can get. I'll tell you that. The new batter, Chris Mangus, sees the first pitch. This one missing low and away. So a good start here for the man in his first USPBL appearance. The 1-0 getting very away from the catcher. So now a quick 2-0 count here on Mangus.
You know, and Stinnett worked through those first 2 batters, no problem. But when temps start to dip this low, and I know it's not brutally cold out there with no wind, but, you know, the pitchers, when they're out there for an extended period of time, they start to lose feeling in their hands. And, again, I know Stinnett's kind of really worked it quick since the start, but,
this ball, talk about power. That's about 200 feet up in the air, but it's about 375, and that one clears the wall. Christopher Mangus had been sitting on the bench all game long, but he delivers for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers here in the home half of the 9th. Clearly couldn't put a 10-run home run up on the board, but you know what? The Hoppers will take any positive note that they can. Mangus, of course, will probably play tomorrow after seeing that right there.
Well, what a start by Mangus. I mean, you said this is his first career at bat in the USPBL, and sitting all game long to the very last out, gets up there for his chance, gets in a favorable hitter's count, and Stinnett not really thinking about it, just throws one right down the center of the plate, and Mangus just absolutely crushed that one. When that ball went up, you knew it was out.
Yeah, we talk about how hard this game is from a mental standpoint, but I'll tell you what, Chris Mangus, from that physical standpoint right there, he saw the ball, he hit the ball, and he absolutely crushed it over that left field wall. But holy cow, what a display of power there from the big fella.
Well, and when that ball went up, it had some serious height to it, and it was unlike any home run we've seen this evening already, where there were kind of quick liners that got out of here. I'm excited to see the flight scope as this game looks like to be over.
Cody Russelli on 3 straight pitches. Nice job right there from the man on the mound, getting the strikeout, the swing, and the miss. Utica Unicorns end up victorious here in our first official baseball game of the 2018 USPBL season. They go to first place. I want to give thanks to some of my broadcasting interns here. We got Luke Hammett, we got Drew Kell, we got my man's Jared, the Boston fan, sitting here next to me, and then my man's that helped me out on color tonight, Mr. Dakota Breck. Boys, it's been quite the fun.
It's been a pleasure, Rich.
We saw a lot of different things here tonight. Saw some home runs. We saw good pitching from the Unicorn staff, good defense, just an all-around, well-completed baseball game from the quote-unquote home team here in Utica. Of course, all of these teams play here, but the Utica Unicorns are, in fact, the predominant home team. Now, I'll tell you what, Dakota, your first game calling baseball, you saw everything here we saw here tonight. Any first impressions?
Well, you know, the thing is, everyone's been saying it's my first game calling baseball, but this has been my dream for about, you know, as long as I can remember. And it's not my first game calling baseball. Trust me, there's been many games of MLB The Show and some games on TV that I've called in my living rooms. But really happy to be out here. I appreciate the opportunity to you and Scott McDonald and Andy Appleby, everyone else involved in the organization. And you know, it was a very interesting game, like you're saying, as the kids are out running the bases now. Diamond Hoppers got to get back, get some sleep tonight, get a nice breakfast in the morning, get back out there tomorrow as it's an early start, 1:05.
Yep, our 1:05 Sunday matinee game will feature the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. It is Sunday Fun Day at the park. Hope all the moms come on out to see some baseball on their special day. And then, like I mentioned, we're having a Mother's Day brunch presented by Thrifty Florist here tomorrow afternoon, and we're excited to get back underway here. I believe it'll be me and Drew Kell on the call tomorrow afternoon. We're excited to get Drew up in the booth, and that'll have it. Your final here tonight, with Unicorns winning this one by a final score of 13-3. We will see you tomorrow pregame right around 12:50. We'll be back on the call with you here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Good night, Utica.